Come on, it's time for fun. It's time to pick your favorites and decide what is shit. Are you ready for this? It's the tier list. Come on, let's go. It's time for the tier list show.
The shit list or the tier list, whatever you want to call it, here on Midnight's Edge After Dark. How's everybody doing out there? Hopefully you're doing well. It's Sunday night. It's a little after 8 o'clock, but we're here. We got Brian, a.k.a. that 70s rock fan, chiming in from, where you at now, Canada? Something like that?
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan?
Yeah, the People's Socialist Republic of Kazakhstan.
Ah, indeed. Well, welcome. We're glad to have you. We're glad the wifey let you come on out and play.
Got here on time tonight. Yeah, it's unusual, but I'm very, very happy to be here for what will probably be a controversial show.
It might be a little bit. Well, we're happy to have you here. We also have, of course, as always, all 32 flavors of Nick Wise. We're not missing a single one. You're going to get all of them, folks.
Oh, you're going to get all of them. And I think we know the 33rd flavor. I think we know the answer.
Is it Grace Randolph?
Eric K's meat.
Oh, I was close.
Well, you have had that in your mouth several times.
I did. It was saucy, flavorful, and filling. By the way,
we went 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and yeah.
Hello, chat.
Wasn't even 2 minutes early.
Hello, dudes, and yeah, this is right up my alley. This
that's what Eric said.
One. Some say it's the gayest flavor, but that's what they say.
He beat you to it in the chat, because there's a delay, so about like 5 seconds or better. So yeah, tonight we're going to talk about all the DC films prior to the Snyder DC reign. So anything post that is not on this list. Otherwise, there'd be more than fights happening. This would be a fucking mess. But just so people are a little more aware of what's on the list, we've got the original Superman and the Mole Men, since it was released in theaters, even though it is just a couple episodes of the show crammed together. We counted that one. We got the original Batman movie from the 60s TV series, that film. It was a feature film. Then, of course, Superman 2. We got Swamp Thing, Superman 3, Supergirl, Superman 4, Swamp Thing 2, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, Steel, Catwoman, Constantine, Batman Begins, Superman Returns, The Dark Knight Rises, Watchmen, Jonah Hex, Green Lantern, and, of course, Dark Knight Rises. Now, I don't think I've missed any. If I have, somebody please let me know. But I think I've got all the main DC feature films.
And Joker 2 count? Because I know they're not technically, they weren't DC.
I thought about them.
That's a conversation to entertain.
They're adjacent. They're not.
Let's ask the audience on that one. Should we include Joker and Joker 2? Because then if you get into that mess, then there's other ones post Snyderverse that may count too, and I'm just like, I don't want to talk about the Batman and shit.
What was that? Joker fillet me do? Oh, sorry, voila, I do.
Folly a douche.
Folly a douche.
Folly a douche.
I say no. We've got enough on there already. I say no.
Because that's my point too. Is because once we start adding the Joker, then we got to start adding the Batman and a few others that aren't technically connected with the Snyderverse. But we also have another gentleman joining us here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hide your daughters, hide your wives. It's Mo Zamboni.
Well, hello there.
Tom called you a gentleman.
That's right. So tonight we're talking about DC films, Mo Zamboni, pre-Snyderverse era.
Yes.
So
we're all of them.
We got the vote out now if we're going to add Joker 2, and the Batman to the list or not, unless there's any other ones, because I just figured we got to keep it somewhat succinct. Otherwise, we're going to be here all night. So let's not waste too much time on this because there are a lot of films on here, as you guys see. Let's which end should we start from? That's what she said.
We'll start from the back door.
The back door. Okay, so let's start. Well, actually, yeah. Well, should we start from the front door since
the front on this show? We always build, drill.
As much as but I usually flip them around a little bit too. These are actually in chronological order of coming out. And if people want to add Joker and Joker 2 and Batman, maybe we should start from this end. What do you think? Just one time?
I say we just put Green Lantern in F and then we just move along.
All right.
So
we'll just move along. Okay. All right. Well, let's start with the older ones first. What do you say? One time we make an exception, Nick. Is that okay?
Sure. We'll start from
We'll do it the less gay way, but
fine.
Oh, so yeah, people calling out V for Vendetta too. I should have put that on here.
You know, there is a good argument about Mask of the Phantasm.
And Mask of the Phantasm, that's true. Yep.
You know what? I'm a defender of that decision. Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah, I agree with both of those.
Proper theatrical release. I know some people are going to next try to pull well, what about Sub-Zero? Well, here's the thing. Sub-Zero, as much as I love it, and I think I like it just as much as Phantasm, it didn't have the theatrical release window. It was straight to video. So, and this is theatrical release, so we do gotta draw a line somewhere. Tom has a point. We gotta know where to put it. And
I think we got Superman and the Mole Men on here.
What?
Yeah, we do.
I thought we did.
Yeah, we do.
All right, good.
But I think I just screwed everything up, so it's going to take me a minute.
Okay.
So we got to hurry up and vote, guys, because if we're going to add more crap, I'm going to do it now. I'm not going to be adding crap later on in the show. It's pretty much no at this point. It looks like
43 votes. It's 43 votes with 100 watching. Chat, if you want this, or if you don't, right? Like seriously, make your votes count. There will be no 3 a.m. ballot dumps. Your vote will actually count here. So please vote. And yeah, there you go. Make those numbers rise. We're closing in on 50 of them. So get those votes in. Yeah, get those votes in. Is this the gayest to us? Well, well, if you add in the DCEU, it would be. But we're lucky we're avoiding that. So we're free from the Snyderisms. We are okay. We cut that part out of our diet.
We got room in our diet for that kind of fiber.
No, we actually value and respect our own lives and our own bodies, and we don't do it with crap like that.
Do we though? Do we?
I was going to say, Nick, we were hanging out in Vegas. I don't think we had very much respect for our bodies at all.
Well, you can make a good case for me, but at least it is got Zack Snyder in my life. I'll have all the giant-sized daiquiris, In-N-Out Burger, delicious restaurant eating, delicious overpriced whiskey drinks over one Zack Snyder movie. So I won't take any of that back for that experience. And and Eric K's meat. And Eric K's meat.
Oh my goodness! Yes.
Dude, did you have it too? Did you have it too?
As much as he picks on me and throws me under the bus, he better give me some damn meat. Wait, that didn't come out right.
I'm just saying. I hope you got a taste.
Oh my goodness! The man. He's the mod father, but he's also the meat father.
Thank you so much for vamping. I think I got it fixed now.
Okay. That straight. The longer we've had it, like, how do I say this without a clip for
Tom? Don't let us vamp again. The longer we vamp, the gayer it gets.
I noticed. I was like, I gotta hurry. This is getting so fucking gay. All right, so we're not going.
Okay, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No. We were just glazing Eric K's meat. That's all we did.
Okay, so let's get into the super chats and then we'll get into the list here. We got Nick the Greek who says misread the stream title, thought it was comic book movies in general. Oh no, we'd be here forever.
Yeah.
10 years.
We would die. That's like the Mueller version of a Tom Connor stream.
That would be fun though.
I'd get drunk as shit for that.
People 101 sends into and says hit the like and subscribe buttons. Hail all, let's go. Yes, please make sure you're subscribed. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Deeple. And then Nick the Greek also says for $4.99, Reeves, Superman, and 89 Batman are tied in first place for me. Batman Mask of the Phantasm is very close second. Blade 2 and 3, and Blade is 1 and 4. Well, Blade is actually Marvel. But yeah, but technically Warner Brothers put those out. I know it's kind of confusing through New Line. But Adrian Barrera says, what about Mask of the Phantasm and Fleischer Soups? Well, Fleischer Soups, I'm not going to count. But Mask of the Phantasm, yes. I don't know how I missed that one. It wasn't in the list that I had. That's probably the only reason why. That and V for Vendetta was left out too for some reason. But they had Watchmen in there. Go figure. Eric Wimberg asked, what film was Bat Tom's first appearance? That would be Bat Tom Begins.
Bat Tom.
And then it's then Bat Tom Rises. And then Bat Tom rinses.
And then Bat Tom sinks. Bat Tom sinks again. Rinses.
Oh, that's good. The Bat.
Rinse and repeat.
How is it? How do you wash that suit if it's made of rubber and you have to like wash your body? Like that's.
You don't wash it. You hose it down once in a while, but no, it there's no washing it. It soaks up the sweat.
It soaks up all the sweat from miles around. In fact,
you marmalade in it. Yes, that's correct. Fat guy walks around my nut. Like, I gotta fight the penguin. My nut sucks because he's a fat fuck.
That's gonna be awkward for encounters with Catwoman. She's like, man,
and he's always sweating because he likes it where it's cold. So if it's even remotely like above freezing, he's like, oh, it's so hot, rant, and sweating, and it's fucking horrible. Anyway,
I'm so glad that my avatar is being blocked by the super chat right now. Damn it!
I would be too. What were you gonna say, Nick?
I was gonna say that's gonna be awkward for intimacy of Catwoman. Man, when's the last time he done something about the suit?
Oh, she loves how it smells. It marmalades. Yes.
Oh,
it smells like balls, sweat, and feet.
Oh, jeez.
So basically, like a men's gym.
So, I mean, so you obviously know what sweaty balls smell like, then, because I don't.
Well, have you ever been in a gym? Action Com says, Nick, did you go to Pizza Con in Vegas?
I did not.
There's a Pizza Con?
Yes, there is.
What?
Going to
how did I not know about this?
Going
Who's in
to
charge
Vegas,
of
this? Was very fun and hectic simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
And half the things I want to do, I got done, and there's another half where I didn't get those things done, and I'm like, I got to redeem that. But man, it was a really intense, especially for my short stay. I mean, I arrived Wednesday night, and I left Saturday morning from my hotel at 3 a.m. So you're talking like what, just above 48 hours. Basically, I was the Eddie Murphy, Nick Nolte movie in real life, but except one man. So it was a big, intense undertaking, and there'll always be another time. Luckily, there's one that comes to Chirac too that I'm thinking about going. There is one that goes to Chirac, so I might do that one.
Will it be deep dish pizza? Because that's the only contest I want to be part of.
That's not Chicago.
What?
Yeah. Oh God, we had to start this.
No.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be here for another half hour. And
I'm right. He's wrong, but continue.
Even Dave Portnoy finally has come around and understanding. Okay, I get it now. Chicago is the tavern. Deep dish is the tourist attraction. Much like the White Sox are the actual baseball team, the Cubs are for the tourists.
All right, I'm out of here. That's too much. All right. First, then you're going to say the Brewers are actually a good baseball team.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Shout out to the Milwaukee Brewers and the Brewers fans, and the Cardinals.
Put them back in the American League. That's all I got to say.
Okay. Anyways, we should probably talk about these DC movies before I derail this.
Get up, get out of here, gone.
Oh, that was good.
Home run.
Tom Cruise.
Some euchre. Just a bit outside. All right, let's get into this. All right, so you guys voted. we've got the list here. I think I've got everything on here. V for Vendetta's on here. Batman Phantasm's on here. I think we're good to go. Let's start with Super, or should we go from the other? Well, they're all kind of mixed up now a little bit. So, and I think actually I got some doubles on here. Actually, shit.
I can see a few. Yeah.
I can see a few, yeah. So we're gonna have to let's start from the far.
If you hadn't mentioned it, nobody would have noticed, and we could have just done it twice.
Superman and the Mole Men. Has anybody seen this? I have a couple times.
I've seen it back in the 1970s on television. So I don't recall much about
Superman and a bunch of midgets.
Yeah. Yeah. I seem to remember even at the time watching it thinking that looks a bit dated, even for the 50s.
It's basically an extended episode. I think they chopped it up later into 2 episodes.
Yeah, it started the show. I think the George Reeves. I mean, George Reeves is great. I mean,
yeah,
he's brilliant. I think I'm struggling to remember it. I seem to recall it was a lot of running about in it, not so much flying and doing super things.
Oh, never. Yeah, he didn't do a lot of flying. And speaking of flying, Mark D with a C flies in here at the last minute. How you doing?
Hello. Thanks for the invite. Yeah, it was just got home, so saw that finally, and thank you for the link and popped in. Said I got to get in on this one.
This is definitely up your alley.
Hi, Mark.
Mark might well remember it more. I really don't recall. And
let's jump to Mark here.
Even at the time, I didn't enjoy it much.
The moment. That was the 50s, right? Yeah, that was. Wasn't that that was a pilot for the show, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean,
it was in tandem with, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I don't think that was very good. Don't get mad at me, Superman, but I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, it wasn't one of the better episodes, I guess you could say.
It was almost like a play. It was quite. There wasn't a lot of super going on there. George Reeves is great, but I seem to recall it being pretty dated and boring, even by the standards of that day. Like
these
other 50s
dudes
movies
that live underneath like Metropolis or some city. Maybe it's not even Metropolis, but like then Superman has to do. I think he shows up because that's the thing in the show. He would only turn to Superman usually like twice in the show if you were lucky. Sometimes you'd get some episodes where he was Superman for a bulk of the show, but a lot of the time it was Lois would go do something, get herself in trouble. Clark would disappear, come back as Superman, save her, get out of the way, come back as Clark, and then at the very end of the show, Superman come up and finally get the bad guy. That's usually like the way the show would usually go. It was kind of a standard.
I have to save Lois, but first a word from our sponsor.
Yeah. And it always ends with something like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Lois, I can't do everything. I'm not a Superman."
Electrolux. No.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what Superman smokes. He smokes Lucky Strikes.
Like any real man chews.
Oh, Tommy. He's just old. 70s, but we're almost there.
No, it's in actuality though. The funny thing is they would not allow Lois Lane because the number one sponsor they had was cornflakes, and they would not allow Lois Lane to be at the breakfast table with the boys. But yet they didn't think twice about how it looked with Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen and Perry Whitehall at the breakfast table in the morning in the same house.
It's like
that's okay. That's okay back then. No one would ever think of
no way they're
like
homosexuals.
No, it didn't exist. Yeah.
I mean, nostalgia some people might have a nostalgic glow, but I think it was. People are going to hate me for this. It really wasn't very good.
No, it's not. I'd say C level.
I agree with
just because of George Reeves at C.
Yeah.
Because
the series gets better later, obviously.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it was not a good representation really of the series. It just had to be like an elongated episode.
It was a pilot, and that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
That's stating it.
Yeah, and some people are noticed some around. Yeah, I screwed up when I tried to add V for Vendetta and Mask of the Phantasm. That's pretty much where it ends. From there on out, it's just
at least you had Steel. I mean, that's the best one. That's
of course.
Yeah,
that's an A all the way. Now here's one that is kind of a guilty pleasure of mine: the '60s Batman movie. That fucking soundtrack rocks.
Oh, dude, A.
I don't give a shit what anybody says.
Dude, straight up, I'm searing high.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
I'm going ace high and saying an A for this one. So
fuck, I don't know about A, but
that's fine. If the pal can disagree with me, I'm sticking it in the A. You ain't.
It does
changing
have
my
the
mind.
shark repellent and the Batcopter and the Bat boat and all the villains in one movie. Like this is a wet dream for comic book fans.
You can stick it in the A, Nick, as long as you're not Burt Ward, please.
Yeah, it's
Burt Ward is a big
That was the best comeback ever, as long as it's not.
That's what she said.
It's just such a great capture of the 60s. It captures the spirit of the 60s.
Welcome,
VR,
VR.
zany.
Yes, and welcome to those joining us from VR. Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
It just captures the 1960s perfectly, that movie. It's just zany, pop art, graphics and the bands and the powers and the music. It's just total genius.
Was it Julie Newmar in this one, or was this one which Catwoman?
Lee Merriweather.
Lee Merriweather. Okay.
Yeah, because Newmar I think was in a film or something. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, so we had because then Eartha Kitt played it in 2 episodes, I think, or 3, and then did the voice for the animated one, and then otherwise, you're right. Because is this where Lee Merriweather? Is this the only time she played it?
I think it's the only time. Yeah,
I think you're right, because I was just gonna say, because there's one of them that was only in the movie, and I think that's it. And she gets she gets a bulk of the plot with Batman.
Oh wow, yeah.
Because she's
I knew what team I was on after I watched this movie as a young kid.
I mean, I'd argue it's definitely a B. Definitely a B. I see where Nick's coming from, but yeah. We got other films that are above this.
Clobbering Times would, to evoke our good friend, and someone should put his picture in the chat. This is an A++ for Clobby. So
for Clobby it would be, but
for pure nostalgia, I'd put it A, but it's a B, really. Yeah.
Compared to some of the other films we got, like the next one coming up, which all of us have seen, I'm sure, Superman the movie. So Nick, I can almost guarantee where you're going to go with this.
Dude, come on.
I have a relative worked on that movie.
Is Snow White?
So that means you can't vote.
Is the sky blue? Is Water's wet? Is Peter Parker's Spider-Man? Superman the movie is an A+++. Like, if you don't like Superman the movie, you're wrong. That's it. You're wrong. This is not an opinion. This is a fact according to the Gospel of Nick Weiser. So you could go ahead and challenge me on that, but you're just wrong. So
you'll never get Eric's meat again in your mouth.
See, I got a bridge in Baltimore to sell you.
All right, so I have one scene that keeps this from being the perfect movie. It's the gosh darn. It's Christopher Reeve. It's Superman reading Lois Lane's mind, and she's reading that poem, and I cringe out of my skin every time it goes on there. They just
you think that's what's happening?
I'm just assuming so. If she
thought you were
going to
color her panties of the film.
If she's going to see what color her panties are, you probably read her mind. I don't know.
I don't know about the reading her mind part. I mean, I know that's part of the song that she's singing, or the poem that she's saying. I think it's just her in her own mind saying that. Is she's like, it's just her thing. My biggest issue with the movie is the ending, and that is the whole turning of the earth or going back in time, however you want to look at it. That's the part. But I never thought of it that way, Mo. To be honest with you.
Well, let's be serious. I wouldn't back up the car to go save Margot Kidder, but that's just me.
I agree, but
she even back then I was like,
the movie's still an A, but I agree.
Yeah, she's like on Maggie Gyllenhaal like level of.
Oh, Maggie's better.
I got speaking of Margot Kidder, we found our. It's an A. It's an A. But
way better than Maggie Gyllenhaal. If you want to say Katie Holmes over Margot Kidder, okay, fine. I won't disagree. But
I say Jimmy Olsen over Margot Kidder. What are you talking about?
I thought you said Maggie Gyllenhaal. I thought you were making a Rachel comparison because seriously, when she blew up in The Dark Knight, she did Batman and Two-Face a favor. The feeling, seriously, it was mutual that they both had gotten rid of her.
Ouch.
Jesus.
Well, I got to finish my Margot Kidder story. You're clearing out someone's, unfortunately, my grandfather passed away, and you're clearing out stuff. And you find some old Playboys. I found one of the Playboys was Margot Kidder was in there.
Since we're talking about Margot Kidder, all I can remember is when she accidentally broke into somebody's home and passed out in their living room. I'm like, how cool would that be to have Lois Lane?
Was it that, or I thought she passed out on their lawn?
Is she a Florida woman?
Either way, that would be awesome.
Both
to have.
Stories are true. I don't know.
Yeah, the original Superman Lois Lane passes out in your lawn. You're like, this is pretty cool. I would be okay with that.
All right, I'd be like, hi, Lois. I got coffee. Come on. Come on.
Oh, and tragically, she lost her memoirs too when her laptop crashed. Margot Kidder. That was so sad. She had a lot of mental health problems later in life. So,
Yeah.
God bless her. But yeah, so tough. But yeah, she was cute in the movie though. Yeah, years
She's
later,
fine.
you're like, but her acting is great, and she's got the right personality.
She's got the right personality more so. Yeah. Well, let's move on to Superman 2. Not as many fans' favorites. Others would argue it's better than the first film. I do prefer the Donner cut, although that still has some issues. But Superman 2 is fun, but it's just, to me, it's not quite up to par with the first film. But what do you guys say, Nick?
B.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I think that obviously the Donner cut is way better, but obviously we're judged by the theatrical cut. It's a good movie, but you're following up lightning in a bottle. And on top of it, even if you had to not follow up lightning in a bottle, it's just not as strong of a movie. It's a good movie, but it's not the masterpiece that was Superman the movie.
Now, if we actually got the Donner versions of these films where he actually got to finish them and the original had a different ending and all that kind of stuff, I feel like we'd have had two pretty much the masterpieces to go by. I mean, Superman is already the gold standard, but I think Superman 2 would be in the same breath as Superman 1. That's just my opinion, but
I would agree with that.
I think for me, one of its strengths that makes me absolutely love it is Terrence Stamp. I mean, he's a great actor, and he was just so good as Zod.
Before Zod.
People love to kneel before Zod, don't they?
Why do you say these things to me when you know I will kill you for it?
Dude, there's a place that sells sod. It's like a Home Depot, and I have kneeled in front of sod because I love this movie so much, and sent pictures of it to people. It's just like Terrence Stamp saves the movie, and
oh god, yeah, him and Gene Hackman's chemistry is amazing.
Yeah, it makes it a B for me that Superman 2 because of Terrence Stamp. I mean, it's still a great movie.
He's right. I brought you Superman.
Oh, and as somebody that was a nerd that was picked on all the time, when he comes back to the bar and tunes that guy up, he goes, lifting weights or whatever he said. I can't remember right off my head.
Yeah,
it's a fun scene, but it's so not Superman. That's the problem with it, and that's why I wish it wasn't in the Donner cut.
Yeah, I'm also
not only does it cause like just a time travel problem, but it's just not a thing Superman would really do.
Also, how far did he walk from the Arctic down to civilization?
A long fucking ways.
That's a long walk without superpowers.
Crypto dragged him.
Yeah, that or the Fortress of Solitude is not as far north as we thought it was.
Maybe not. It couldn't have been.
It's an Anchorage. Yes,
it's just north of Toronto.
It's really more Canada.
Yeah, it's an Oakville, guys. All right,
It's Oakville. Yeah.
Well, this one's an A for me because of just the memory of going to see my family. My mom and dad took us to see this, pretty early when it opened, and we got to go to McDonald's that night, which was a big treat. We had no money back then, so we got to go to McDonald's and then go to see Superman 2. So on the experience of seeing it on the big screen there, my dad loved it. We had a lot of fun. But yeah, when you look back at it, it's in the B range, and Clobby hated this movie. God, he always talked about how much he hated this movie. So, but it's the nostalgia of it for me. It's an A, and actually, well, another one of his buddies, Ace Cast Iron, if he's not listening, but he did pretty well with Sarah Douglas at one of the cons. We'll just leave it at that. So I'm getting in trouble for saying that. But, hello, yes, hello, yep, hello, nurse. So it's a fun story I heard about that one. But
so I think this should be in C because of the pimp scene. Where he's like, man, those are some cool threads. And like
that's in the first one, isn't it?
No, I think the second one where they're fighting. Yeah, they're fighting because throwing the bus and stuff. No, I think
is it really?
That one. Yeah,
I thought it was after he come out of the thing in the first movie, and after the spinning because he couldn't find a booth. And then he goes into the spinning doorway. What do you call them things? The revolving door. And he comes out and he goes, "Woo, that's a bad outfit." I thought that was the first one. Yeah. Oh, and that's all he really says. And then he just goes, "Woo," after he sees him take off.
Pimp is in the first. No. Oh, I used to watch those. This is the problem. When you get the free preview weekend on HBO back in the day, your parents would tape everything. So they would all run together for you. You'd have the same 6 movies on
Or there's something
cycle.
in this TV version that I don't remember that was cut because like that's the thing. There's like a 3-hour cut of both the first and second Superman movies for television that just added every last scene they could back in just so they could spread it over 2 nights.
Yeah, it's like Earthquake. Yeah.
Yeah,
My
De
apologies,
Laurentiis and all those guys used to do that back in the day because they basically made twice as much money that way. Because they sold it as 2 movies, basically. Yeah.
Star Trek, they did. They made it it was 6 hours by the time you're done with that movie. Yep.
The movie's really only 3, but you're right. Like after all the commercials and said and done, they spread it over 2 nights, and it's a big, huge event. And I remember even when I was a kid, Superman 2 was showed over 2 nights.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, I see a good debate for that to be in the A's.
If there was an A+ or an S, yes, but there isn't. There's only an A. So is it really as good as Superman? Does it have the same emotional weight? Does it have the same power? I could live with it in A, but then well,
here's the thing, and people keeps bringing up S tier, and I appreciate that, but there's no F on the S tier one.
No,
people forget that.
I mean, I could live with it. I mean, it's
I don't know. I mean,
I
we
would've
kind of
said B, but I
bounced
can live
all
with
over
it.
the place here.
B+.
Mostly B's though. All right, well, we're gonna put it in the B's because most people said B.
B+.
All right,
Otherwise, we're going to be here 9 years.
B+.
Yeah, we got to keep moving here. We got Swamp Thing next. So who's actually seen it? If you have, chime in. I like it. It's all right. It's Wes Craven classic. It's decent. I'd give it maybe a C. It's C level at best.
Adrian Barbeau one.
Yeah,
with their boobs.
I'd give it a double D then.
Here's the thing, Mo. In the American version, she does not show her boobs. We accidentally got the international version on DVD, and that's probably why you've seen that. Yeah,
I saw the international version when it came out,
and up until officially on the 4K version, it was finally released, I believe. So yeah, or one of those.
It's a lot of fun. It's a fun movie.
It's fun. I just don't know if it's B level. I mean, it's a B movie.
It's a B movie. True. I mean, C isn't bad. We're not saying C's are bad.
Okay, I'm jumping ahead, but here's why I say this, because I think, if I remember correctly, the second film is actually a lot more fun. Even though it's like bad shit, funny, crazy. Yeah, with Heather Locklear.
Yeah.
Take your pick. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, which one do you like more? The more serious one, or do you like the goofier one, I guess? So that's kind of where both of these could probably land in the C's, or B's, either or.
Well, given the clout on this list, I would say C. But Adrian Barbeau is
it's a C.
Bigger. You're not wrong.
Deserves to be nothing
She's bigger,
below
right?
a D. Yeah.
We're such toxic men.
Hey, at least we're not acting all.
We should do this movie on Toxic Tuesday. Yeah.
No shit. Speaking of, are we doing that movie this week that you said you were going to do, Nick? Or have you even announced it?
Young Guns?
Young Guns.
Oh, we're going in big.
We're going to make you famous.
Some might say the best. So, yes.
Actually, that's from the second film, but yeah. All right, so let's compromise here. Anybody else seen this besides me and a couple people that already chimed in? Or?
I saw it. It was one of my dad's favorite movies. He loved Swamp Thing as a comic book character, but it's like, it just is, compared to everything else on the list, it's barely in this.
Right. It's not going to hurt my feeling if it ends up in B, but like, I just feel like you're right. That's kind of my reasoning here is like where the rest of the list is going to go. I think
I'd say it's firmly a C. And that's not bad. We're not saying C's are bad. We're saying
that's middle of the road, decent. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Double D's are good too.
Double D's are nice.
Here's the one we're gonna fucking fight about. So I'm gonna do some super chats before we do. Nick the Greek says any gayer in Culture Casino might show up. He's got a point. He's got a fucking point. We get much gayer and he will show up. Seriously. Pack of protons. Go ahead.
Culture's Biggie Smalls. You talk about gay shit 3 times and he appears.
Biggie Smalls. His Biggie Smalls the new Bloody Mary. Oh shit! Pack of Proton says I've seen Batman: The Dark Knight only once, and no need to see it again. The man, same with the Man of Steel. not a Joker movie, not a Superman movie. Okay, so
Whoa.
Dark Knight, yeah, I'm not going to get into that right now because Man of Steel's not on the list, and neither is the Joker movie. So yeah, we're with you on that one. We're not getting into those.
So that when we get to it, yeah.
But the Dark Knight, I think you're going to have some people disagree with you on that one. Jason Webster says my favorites are Batman Returns and Superman 1978. Well, those are good picks. Those are good picks. But that being said, this is the one I feel like we're going to debate about because I will argue that Superman 3 is one of the best comic book movies ever fucking made.
No way.
Yes, it is so comic book. It's not even funny.
Well, it's got
because
these
funny
comic book tropes in it. Yes, but
like that's what I mean. It is like it's like an issue of a comic book, like
Superman
where you
from the 60s. Yes,
sort of, but where you would have a guest star show up, like Muhammad Ali or whoever. In this case, it just happens to be Richard Pryor, right? So it's going to lean into. I love this movie. I didn't realize people hated it until I was an adult or until the internet came around. It has all these great comic booky things, but I understand most of you guys hate it. So go ahead, trash it. To me, it's an A-level movie. I don't give a shit.
Is it a Richard Pryor movie or is it a Superman movie?
Both.
Is the problem.
Yes. So
it's got a great plot and a great villain, though. That's the thing. Besides Richard Pryor, you've got, but anyway, sorry, go ahead, Mo.
And it has two depictions of Superman that are amazing that I wish they would do more.
Kind of bizarro Superman, yeah.
Right. You have drunk Superman. You have red kryptonite Superman, who has a altered color palette, which was a nice touch. Like he was a slightly muted version of his outfit. But seriously, like what makes this? I don't know if I put it into B, but it definitely deserves a C+. Is the Superman versus Clark Kent in the junkyard fight.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it. It's such a good is it actually happening? Does it actually matter? Like there's so much good and the I secretly would put it into B because my wife is secretly freaked out about when the maid gets turned into Brainiac.
Everybody loves that and scares the shit out of you as a kid when the sister gets turned into that fucking robotic thing. Yeah.
The what do you call it? The stop motion. Like it's so creepy, uncanny valley. Like there's so many good parts in this movie, but it's Richard Lister left unhinged, and he's like,
a little bit.
It's like Rebel Moon in the 80s is the problem. But there's so many good.
It's got good moments. It has good.
It's got great moments. Like
the fight is brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, if Superman 1 and 2 had been allowed, like, here's my problem: is Superman 2 has too much of the Lesterisms in it.
Yes,
and that's why I don't hate this movie because this movie is from start to finish a Lester film, and he's able to just make his movie. And in that movie, yes, is it funny? Is it goofy? Is there a lot of stuff that's kind of out of the norm? Absolutely, but it still fits in the Superman world. And just as you said, we have a real threat. You have a guy who makes a computer can do, as he says, it will do whatever you tell me to tell it to do. And sure, is it out there some of the crazy shit that it does? It's a little beyond belief, but at that point, computers and technology, it was kind of like a what do you call it? A new frontier or whatever. So like here we are now though, where it's almost become reality. Like, yeah, sure, you can't control the weather, but you could shut down the entire world tomorrow if you wanted to with a push of a button. And a guy like Gus Gorman would be very, very, very important to that equation if you're a villain, like the main guy is here played by Vince Vaughn. I forget the
Robert Vaughn.
Robert Vaughn, sorry, thank you.
He's not as memorable though as it's not his fault. It's not as memorable.
He's memorable if you've heard lawyer advertisements in the last 15 years.
Yeah, he's a different kind of villain. Yes.
Business. Yeah, he's the guy that does like something and something. Mm-hmm. Tell them you mean business. Like he did a bunch of reads for that.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Robert Vaughn just has his own persona, right? So that's all he needs to bring to the table. And then you have like his sister, their dynamic is great. And then what's her face, the bimbo who actually is smart as always. And she really plays that up. And a lot of people misremember her with Miss Tessmacher. It's like, no, Miss Tessmacher was never really that bright. She was okay. She had her moments, but like this chick is actually smart and she's hiding it on purpose. And I like that. There's a lot of little things in this movie that I think people overlook and they just kind of like, oh, disregard it because it's that movie. It's like, I think you're underselling it. I think check it out. Quit judging it on it's not meant to be Superman.
We're
1
going
and 2.
to judge it. We're going to judge it.
Well, no, I mean, don't judge it on a sense of like it's meant to be, like this
Tom's like, it's an A, damn it.
Dark Knight kind of movie. It's like, are we not
ranking-
allowed to have comedy films?
Well,
amongst
it has the elements, but they don't all come together. So
They're
Vera
ranking it against
scene with
others as
Vera.
well.
Yeah,
That is
scene
a
with
better
Vera is
argument.
phenomenal. That scene with Vera is phenomenal with the cyborg and some of the fights. But I just don't think Richard Pryor fits in this movie. Not because you can't have comedic. It just doesn't gel. And I just watched this a few months ago. It just doesn't work. As great as Reeve is, it just doesn't all come together in the end.
I can see that argument. I disagree with it, but I can see that argument. To me, it's like I said, when you have a guest spot in a comic book, which to me was always stupid. It's because like, oh, the Beatles are in this comic. It's not like the Beatles showed up and fucking modeled for every frame of the comic or something like that. Just some dude drew it. So to me, it's kind of like that kind of an element to it. But which is really ironic to me, and I kind of find funny in a stupid, nerdy way, is I have the comic book adaptation of this, and the guy Richard Pryor looks nothing like Richard Pryor in the comic. It's almost like it's on purpose. That's what I think.
They're probably going to get the rights to Pryor.
Which
maybe.
I thought that, but then they have the movie poster as the cover, so I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
So we should probably wrap it up soon, but
yes,
we
sorry
to get through. But I agree with Davina in the chat. Richard Pryor seems like he's in a different movie.
See,
I don't know.
See, here's the thing. I'm gonna put one out here, Tom. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt, but the man did so many drugs. He would totally come up with red kryptonite. I'm just saying, it's believable now that
absolutely.
Yeah, the man would.
I love him as a villain,
and
I disagree with Mark, but I can agree to disagree on this. I think he fits perfectly in the movie for what part he's playing. It's like a guest spot on a TV show or in a comic book.
Let's give our rankings.
I think we're all kind of in the C range.
I'm in a C. I'm a C.
I think we've kind of figured that. Okay, now we're really going to get to one that I think.
Now we're getting good.
Okay.
Is this the one we think it's going to be?
Supergirl, because a lot of people blame Superman 3 for destroying the Superman franchise. No, Superman 3 did very well at the box office. It was Supergirl that brought an end to all this shit.
Everything else, not good.
Horrible fucking story. Like, you talk about how stupid everybody says Superman 3 is, that's what Supergirl is.
Yep. Yep. And that's the sad part is, like, even though Supergirl is basically just a gender swap Superman, she's one of those few female versions of the male, like, hero who actually is an interesting character. She actually is.
Well, the first third of the movie is good. Yeah.
This movie did not do well with her story.
The first third's fine. Like, as far as I know, the first third actually takes pretty close attention to what at that time was the basic outline of Supergirl, with the city that she lives in. It's like the miniature city or whatever, and all that stuff. And her getting out of the city and coming to Earth. All that stuff's fine. It's about a third of the way into the film where you start to get your villain story, where the movie starts to detour and become this really stupid. And you talk about things that don't jive, because you've got this witch angle on one end, because she's got and don't get me wrong, I know magic has been a part of the Superman, Supergirl universe before. I don't have a problem with that. It's just the way it's portrayed and the way it's brought into the movie. Because talk about feeling like two different movies. Because it feels like you got that going on one side of the movie, while you also have the Supergirl story going on, where she's learning how to, being the fish out of water in college, and then the love story in the middle of all that. So you've got all these fucking things, and there's just so much shit going on in this movie. And the one problem it has is Superman never fucking shows up once. Not once. Yep. And it really, really hurts the film. And the one time he's there is in a fucking lousy picture. Right? Like, you even have it just goes on for a half hour, 45 minutes, way too fucking long. That's why the US cut of this initially was only 105 minutes. I've not seen that version since I was a kid, because they never re-released that version again, but I'd like to see it just to see if it's any better, because the only two other versions I've seen have been like the 2 hour cut, the 2 hour and 15 minute cut, and they're just unwatchable at this point. Like, I can't get all the way through the movie. Like, I've tried for years to rewatch this movie, and it's just a tough watch after the first half. It just goes downhill so
Despite
fast.
Helen Slater.
Despite Helen, she's fine. She is not the fucking problem. The casting isn't even really totally the problem. Although, what's her face who plays the villain? She's kind of just hamming it up too much. Faye Dunaway. Yeah, she's just way
crazy
too much.
Faye Dunaway. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, it's
Faye
way
Dunaway.
too crazy. She's in a completely different fucking movie, I think. And like, that's where I can agree to disagree on the Richard Pryor thing. But you would talk about somebody being in a completely different movie than the one everybody else is. That's a good example of it. Because she thinks she's hamming it up, thinking she's in a cartoon, right? Like that's what she's acting. So who else has seen this besides me? I'm going to shut up now.
I saw it a long time ago.
Okay, Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't particularly enjoy it. Yeah, it's got a lot of problems. Helen Slater was the best thing about it. I would give it a D. I mean,
I was gonna say the only reason I give it a D is because there's shit on this list that's worse.
Yes, exactly. We're about to get there. Yeah.
It wasn't even a good HBO movie. It was like a Cinemax movie. Like you know what I mean? Like,
Cinemax.
I totally understand.
Yeah. Like it didn't even get even get the intro on HBO. They're like, let's put it on Cinemax.
Went straight to Cinemax. No, I know what you're talking about.
Lost money too, right?
So, it was on Friday night because that was when they showed theirs. Yeah, just before the porn. I'm not kidding.
That's why we stayed up late to watch these movies.
Well, I told my mom I was staying. I'm gonna go watch
Supergirl.
Norm. Instead, it was fucking yeah. All right. So, anybody else got anything to say about Supergirl?
Moving
no.
on.
All right.
Move on.
It's bad.
It was a masterpiece compared to the next one, though.
It is. Well, yeah. Here's a mixed bag. So, like, you got Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. You get Gene Hackman back, and you got Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, you got the title wrong, Tom.
This movie.
You got the title wrong. It's Superman 4, The Quest for Piss. And you know I love canon films, and
that's the problem with the movie. Unfortunately,
it's the epitome of a low budget canon.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So why does this movie suck? Canon. That's why this movie sucks. First and foremost. Second,
they were
why
bankrupt
does this
already? Yeah.
They were already bankrupt, and they went and bankrolled this movie. They used all the money from this movie to bankroll other things and pocket the rest. And it was a big fucking mess. And Christopher Reeve has said plenty of things about this movie and what went wrong because he had a grand vision for this film. I don't wholly agree with his take on what to do with the Superman movie, but I understand why he was doing it because he's like, this is the one story that the comic books refuse to tell, and I'm going to tell you why the comic books refuse to tell it. It's basically Superman tries to end nuclear war, only to realize at the end he can't end nuclear war. Like that's and in there was lost this great probably idea for a story, and what comes out of the other end is this gloppy canon mess. And I love canon just as much as Brian does. But this is the time where it's not as a good thing.
Well, we haven't done it on Canon Film Club yet, but I've got a feeling it's coming soon.
Well, if I may be able to contribute a little bit because this was a fucking disaster.
Okay, so everybody's burying the lead on this movie right now. Here's what it is. It's called Polyamorous Relationships, the movie. It's where Clark Kent and Superman try to hook up with Meryl Hemingway and Margot Kidder. He's trying to nail the two most famous mids in the 80s.
Famous mids, I love that. That's good.
Famous mids.
Meryl Hemingway. Meryl Hemingway had a face like a 1910 boxer. All right.
But can you blame him? Motherfucker deals with it constantly every day. He's like, all this bitch talks about is fucking Superman.
We used to say like she's got a face like a bulldog chewing a wasp.
Finally get somebody who likes Clark, and that's why I love that's another I didn't even get to bring up about part 3. Why I love part 3 is because we get Annette O'Toole. And she's the opposite of Lois because she's actually interested in fucking Clark and could give a shit less about Superman. Yeah.
Well, the problem with this movie too, you had the big, nuclear freeze movement back then. And then, the day after tomorrow, the movie, Reagan was going to, blow up the world. And of course, we know how that all turned out. Everyone was completely wrong on that. So this is Christopher Reeve's self-insert, and he insisted on this ridiculous story. And that's, in comic books, you just avoid this stuff, of course, what they don't do now.
You just made me realize this was kind of like woke before woke. You're right.
Yeah. And you don't do that stuff because Superman, iteration of Superman, if he's really like that, I mean, he would never sleep. I mean, he would just be flying around the planet saving everything. So if you've read, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, which is, the last issue of Superman before he was rebooted by Alan Moore and Kurt Swan, you can read about, what, Superman, what would have been and what happened to him and how, of course, he can't be Superman anymore because he let someone die accidentally. So, not accidentally, but there's a death in the story. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't read it, but and then one of my favorite stories as a kid that my grandfather got me from the comic book store was there's red kryptonite in Jimmy Olsen's camera. So Superman thinks he's dying and he's doing all these things to like save the planet in this story, but he realizes finally there's like some kryptonite embedded in Jimmy Olsen's camera. But traditionally that you try to avoid this stuff because Superman is just such a powerful character. So this is an F all the way. Oh man, and it's just a horrible movie all the way around.
The thing is, for me, it's about there are movies that are horrible and you hate. I mean, there are movies that are horrible, but you can still have such sneaking affection for. Yeah. And this is one of them. It's an F, but I still have some kind of affection for it.
It's
Which
so
is
bad. Why I would argue it needs to be on the D level because guess what? It's not as bad as Supergirl. I don't care. I'll watch this any day of the week over Supergirl.
I actually agree. I agree with that. Even though I haven't seen both in a while.
Nuclear Man is fun. I'm sorry. It is bad, but it's bad in a good way. Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
No, I agree, Tom, 100%. They're both movies are awful. At the time, I would have given them both an F, but considering what has come up, you look at the D a bit very differently nowadays. So this one definitely deserves a D. And
we know you look at the D.
Well, I got all the men here to look at it with me.
That's right. Now look at that. I think we can buzz.
I'll tell you what, I would watch Superman 4 before Supergirl every time.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. So like, yeah, as bad as it is, like at least it's entertainingly bad. You're 100% right. Supergirl is just bad for the most part. And you feel bad for Helen Slater.
Yeah, it has its charms, Superman 4. Some of them.
Yeah, well, Gene Hackman's there. You've got what's his face, Ducky, in it as his nephew. Is kind of funny. And I'm sorry, Nuclear Man is so fucking horrendously bad. It is hilarious.
Oh my god!
Especially when
voiceover by Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman's voice, yeah. Bring me Superman. I want Superman. And I think we can buzz past this next one because I think we all kind of considered that Return to Swamp Thing is probably on the same level as the first one. I don't think anybody is arguing any different on that one. Now we're gonna get into the nitty gritty, and I know Mark, you're on a limited budget here. Yeah. How much time you got left?
Oh, I moved to 10. I got till 10:30.
Oh, okay. All right. So you got a little bit longer. All right. Yeah. So we might be able to get close to the end here with you. So all right, this is one these are some I know we're gonna be able to knock through pretty quick though. Batman 1989. Who's gonna argue that it's not at least A or B tier here? I want to hear you guys' arguments on this. Go ahead. Let's start with you, Mark, and we'll go up from the bottom.
Well, this is a definite A. I mean, how could you not, give Batman 89 not an A? I mean, it's we all thought that we were real worried. Jack Nicholson we thought would be good, but God, what a cultural event that was, right?
Right. Even if it's just for the cultural phenomenon of it all, yeah.
I mean, just and then just see a superhero. Everyone knew I collected comics, and we're worried about Michael Keaton, as Batman, but he did pull it off. So yeah, so here's I'm Batman.
It was amazing what Michael Keaton could pull off, Tom, knowing that he couldn't turn his neck around in that suit.
Yeah, I can rotate my neck better, but
he created the bat turn, yeah.
Yeah. So this is
I'm serious.
No, I actually like the bat turn the way he does it. It's like, oh Christ,
Junior Birdman missed me.
But I mean, this movie was everywhere too, and like, oh Marky, hey, comic book movie, you must love this, So yeah, there's flaws with the movie, but
it's still the most quotable one. I mean, what kind of a world do we live in where a man dressed as a bat gets all my press? This town needs an enema.
Where does he get these wonderful toys?
Yeah, Andy Elfman's soundtrack in the movie is fantastic. And then that scene where Joker's doing his homage to Prince.
Great Batmobile too.
Party Man and all that shit. Yeah, the best Batmobile in my opinion. Yeah.
It's an A.
Most impractical Batmobile, but okay, Mo, you gonna say A or what are you gonna say?
Oh, I'm totally gonna say A. totally fooled us into believing that Jack Napier was Joker and that Batman killed everybody. But other than that, it was a great movie. I saw it in the theater, and it was amazing.
Ooh.
Well, this Batman kills. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
When he
he's
go,
on
my
the
favorite
line.
is never rub another man's rhubarb.
That's such a
You
good
dance
fun at the
With the
time.
You
devil.
want to get nuts?
Come on, let's get this.
Go
Such
ahead,
good
Nick.
fun.
Do you dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? Great line.
I always ask that of all my prey. I just like the sound of it.
You never hit a man with glasses, right? Dude, like, oh man. The whole movie is like, it's the cinematography that makes it an A. Like the rest of it could be crap, but Jack Nicholson's acting and the cinematography just carried that entire movie. The rest of it was great, but that's what put it over the top.
Well, it's not just the cinematography; it's the mixture between the miniatures, because most people don't realize how much of that movie is just miniatures and set.
And matte
it's not
paintings.
shot on, yeah, exactly. It's not shot on any actual real locations for the most part. Like there's I think just a little bit, but even like that big street, the street that we see in the intro of the film, I think that's a set. Even like I say, it's almost all sets. So like the work and just the attention to detail that went into this movie alone, like even if the movie was bad, there's so much good in it that it would just rise above. And like Mark brought up, the phenomenon that it was when it came. I mean, it just changed movies going forward. I mean, it solidified the idea that a comic book movie could be a big deal. And I mean, it dominated. So like, I mean, and it kind of carried into Batman Returns, which brings us into the next one.
Yeah, because
to me,
well, I was gonna say, Superman was 78 was the last big superhero movie, really, and then Batman
before that,
and don't forget all the real life toys we got too from that movie too, which I still have a lot of them. Yep,
dude, the video games are amazing. Batman for the NES, Batman Returns for the Super Nintendo, like oh my goodness, yeah.
I mean, I have a hard time not putting this one in the A tier as well, because this one to me hit as hard as the first film. I love the villains in this one. I love the aesthetic of the second film. In fact, the second film is even more watchable than rewatchable than the first film. Better story.
If I had to be contrary, and I actually agree, it's in here. It's a brilliant movie. I would say it could have done with a little more Batman.
That's the one thing that you're probably right on, and that's one thing the critics really hit it hard with.
One thing I remember is, and the critics saying that too, like it's a little more villains and a little less Batman. That's just me being pedantic, but it's still a great, brilliant movie.
Well, they said the opposite. Like, but what you meant, there's more.
Should
need
be
less
more
villains
Batman.
and more Batman.
More
Yes.
More
okay,
Batman.
I'm gonna disagree with that one, just mainly because of Catwoman.
Well, of course, you would.
I agree. I love the
interacting.
movie. But story-wise, Brian's not wrong. All the critics, besides the grossness and certain other aspects they bitched about the movie, they weren't wrong, because Batman only shows up, I think, 3 times in the entire fucking film as Batman.
It's a little less Batman than I would have liked, but it's
I
still
actually enjoy Returns more. I'll say it.
I do too. Like as a movie,
great music, and I know many dudes who say that when they saw Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, that was the day that they became a man.
Well, and
it sounds like the panel isn't in disagreement.
And one of the best notifications systems that I've ever seen is when the bat signal goes up, and then he has like a sensor or something that causes it to go into his office. That was like, I'm getting my neck hair standing up just like I was 9 or I was 11.
It's such
again.
a thing. Yeah.
Like he might not be on screen as much, but when he is, it's over the top. It's amazing. And my favorite scene in the movie is when Catwoman goes, "You said you're going to scare her," and he goes, "Look pretty scared to me." Like, dude, so
we already brought up Danny DeVito, right? Like, sorry, go ahead, Nick.
Christopher Walken, Bruce Wayne. Why the hell are you dressed like Batman? Because he is Batman.
Oh yeah, Christopher Walken's great.
His hair was
fucking
wild.
Danny DeVito's amazing, chewing the fucking scenery, and I don't care what anybody says. I love this version
I see
of the
what
Penguin.
You did there. I see what you did to chewing the scenery.
And it kind of has a better story than the first movie. Like the first movie's good, but it's just a real simple story, right? It's The Joker shows up, poisons Gotham. Batman needs to figure it out. That's it. That's the fucking movie.
Sometimes
if you really
that's
break it
good,
down,
though. Sometimes
it's just fine. But in this movie, I like that they pull from the classic comic story of the Penguin becoming mayor. That's a classic. There's even a 60s Batman series where he does the same thing. I love that aspect of it. I love this version of Catwoman. They actually kind of made her. I love the S&M. I don't give a fuck. It's in your face. It's clear as day. They're like, we're not even going to pretend. You know what I mean?
Just go for it.
And then they had that great coverage, like where Michelle Pfeiffer whipped all the heads off on the first take. It's just like they couldn't lose the bat, the cat, and the penguin.
And then you got Shrek, who's literally whose idea at that time sounded asinine and crazy. But as you go through history, you realize that there's actually been events where these things have kind of started to happen or tried to happen, or they've tried to make they may have even gotten away with it in some cases, stealing the energy from the city just to sell it back to them at a premium. It sounds crazy at the time, but then you look at what the water companies have done to us and some of these other places. Like, it's not as far as out there as you think. So I love Shrek's little fucking plan that he's got, and it all kind of makes sense and comes together. And how the Penguin and Catwoman play into that. And I agree with you, Mo. Like, just because Batman's not there on screen most of the time, it doesn't matter. Once he does show up, it fucking matters. Right? Especially that opening bit when he shows up and kicks the shit out of the circus, like kills like half of them.
Well, I think we all agree it's an A. I think
so. Yeah, we need
the sake of Mark's time. For the sake of Mark's time, we're going to keep moving.
And this one ages much better too. I think initially people didn't like it, and now people looking back at it, it wasn't the family friendly. Yeah, the family friendly.
Oh yeah, real quick, Pee Wee Herman is Penguin's dad. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Doesn't
say a word, but kills his kid. Tries to kill his kid.
He Moses him.
He did Moses him. That's right. Yeah. So speaking of being more childish, we get Batman Forever then from Joel Schumacher a couple years later. And this is one that I know has become a new fan favorite. Let's start with Nick on this one. Nick, are you there?
Oh, I'm here. I am a man who will defend Batman Forever from now until forever. See what I did there? Even though, like the Never-Ending Story, the movie shouldn't be called Forever. It should be called Batman Temporarily or Batman for 2 hours, not Forever, because the movie.
Honestly, I think they should flip-flop the two titles.
Yeah,
honestly,
they should change the title because it's not, the movie doesn't go on forever. Val Kilmer's no longer living with us. Rest in peace. But I love Val Kilmer's performance as Batman, and seeing it under the contextualization, especially understanding Schumacher's approach to this movie. I love this movie. It's so fun and shamelessly over top. And the weirdest part was when I was listening to the open bar in my car, and I got out of the car, go inside at 7-Eleven, and the first thing I hear over the intercom at 7-Eleven was that song from Seal. Bro.
I was just going to ask you, how would you compare this to A Kiss from a Rose on the Grave?
Right? This movie rocked my childhood. Straight up rocked it. This is the first one I saw in the theater. So
did it hold you, kiss you, kill you, thrill you, whatever?
Oh, dude, I was the damn rose at this movie.
No, I remember this movie came out about was it 95? So yeah, it'd have been about 15. Yeah,
and it's very good. You can tell the differences between Burton and Schumacher, though. There's very different tone. Very different tone. I think it's a little more. It's quite a convoluted plot in this one. I think that's why I liked that the first Batman or the '89 Batman was simple in plot. This one went the other way completely. Pretty convoluted, I thought, which I don't think was necessarily a good thing.
But at the end of the day, if you really think about it, all Penguin is doing is basically what scammers do now and steal your identity. He's just getting all your info.
It wasn't
think
bad.
About it.
I really love this movie too. Another one I went to see with my dad and really enjoyed. And of course, since Val Kilmer has just passed, but people, saying I've always said I love this movie, so I'm not jumping on the bandwagon. I love the opening to it. It's very James Bondian with that bank vault save there. It's just very cool. And
I do have to agree.
Got that presence.
Do you have to agree with RJ Godzilla though? I thought Two-Face was a real waste of time in this movie.
Yeah, the only reason he's there is to basically bankroll the Riddler.
Yeah, it was very one-dimensional.
Yeah, and it
Which
probably
is funny for a Two-Face guy.
if you took Two-Face out and you kind of worked in a way like in the plot that either Edward found a way to trick Bruce into paying for it or found another like villain like, you know, Shrek to help him pay for it, I think that would have worked out just fine. You didn't need Two-Face.
Just one person too many, I think.
That and fucking Tommy Lee Jones just overdoes it.
Yeah.
But Jim Carrey's great as the Riddler. Almost every aspect about the movie is good. Mo, what do you think about the movie?
And you'll understand where I'm coming from, Tom, is being the same age as you, I was expecting another Burton movie.
Yes.
And I still can't get over that disappointment. Joel Schumacher in his interviews where he's like, you don't understand. There needs to be nipples on the bed. And he would just, remember the interviews? They were so off-putting.
They weren't exactly like that, but there's something along those lines.
It was pretty bad, but it was
like,
bad
I
enough.
wanted them to look like Greek gods.
That's even worse. But Val Kilmer was a great Bruce Wayne. I loved him as Bruce Wayne. He was a good Batman. But as far as like the overall of the movie, the soundtrack's amazing. The whole premise behind the movie is good. You're trying to tell me that Chris O'Connell is in high school. He's got a receding hairline. That's a bit of a hard sell, but you know.
Oh, come on, no, I can testify to that. It was me.
But I was gonna say this was back then. That was totally normal for men. We were still getting. Yeah.
Then again, I don't know why I was in high school at 45, but there you go.
No, you want to seriously? It's coming from a bald dude.
Bus.
This is somebody who was like 15 walking into JCPenney's or Sears, and you get the salesman trying to get you the pitch to get you to the credit card, and it's like, dude, I'm 15. He's like, oh, we'll come back in like 3 years.
Well, we did have 30-year-old Tobey Maguire playing Spider-Man when that was the news.
So trust me.
But he looks like it. Chris O'Donnell looked like he was.
I don't know. Toby looked at
Chris looked like
no,
a
he's not
baseball
wrong.
player.
Chris O'Donnell is basically what do you call it? Not even really Robin. He's more the what's the character he turns into afterwards? Help me out.
Nightwing.
Red Hood.
Nightwing. Yes, Nightwing.
Right. Jason
Nightwing,
Todd was Red Hood.
Yeah, he's more Nightwing.
No,
even the costume is basically Nightwing's costume for the most part.
It basically is.
So, yeah, for me it's a C because I'm the person that went to go see. I was old enough to go see a Batman Returns in the theater, and I can still like the disappointment with seeing it in the movie theater. I gotta say it's a C because the first two are so good. It just and there's so many other movies that are going to be better than this. It's got to be a C.
Yeah, I mean I agree with you at the time, but I have come around to Batman Forever and, as we'll see here in a moment, Batman Returns. But we do have to put this somewheres. So I guess B, is everybody kind of in agreement that B is a good enough spot for it?
I can
Mo, you're the only one who did that low.
C plus. Mo's maybe got a point.
It's
I could live with it in B. I'll put it in B then. I was kind of leaning towards
I'll concede to B. It's a great popcorn movie. If you don't enjoy the movie while you watch it, there's something wrong with you.
And I'm glad it's in B because at least then I can argue for Batman and Robin to wind up in C and not F like everybody's going to want to. Because rewatching the movie over the years, understanding what Schumacher was told to do, what was going on at the studio at the time, and the fact that we've had, I don't know what, over close to a dozen Batman movies now altogether. I like this one because it's refresh. I like Forever and this one too as well. Now they're not nearly as good as the other Batman films in certain respects. I'm not going to argue that point, but I appreciate it more now because we have that one. Does that make sense? Like we have one that is colorful, goofy, and more of a homage to the 60s Batman series. Because if you rewatch this movie knowing that that's basically what Schumacher was doing was his homage to the 60s Batman series, it makes a lot of sense. There's so many of those jokes in there and stuff like that. So yeah,
you're saying, Tom, but it's still crap.
I disagree. There's elements of it now, and I wanted to walk out of this fucking movie so bad when it was in theaters. Like I did.
Nearly did. And you know what I really hated the most about it was the visual effects editing gave me a headache.
Yeah, but compared to shit now.
Towards the end, I mean, I thought, who cut this thing is giving me a headache. It's cut so fast.
You know what I checked out 70s is when Robin, Chris O'Donnell, is getting like drowned in the water, and they did the Batman like where they ran the footage backwards and then didn't even try to hide it. Like he went up and he came down, and it was like all right, I'm done. And then we had Bane. You know, like I went to go see this in a dollar theater when they still existed, and I literally was like, I literally, no, I'm dead serious. I wanted my money back. I hate it.
I was gonna walk out, but I was not the person who drove. That's the only reason I didn't walk out.
I didn't enjoy it at all.
And then I tried again on video, couldn't get through it. And then it wasn't until it came out on 4K, I rewatched it again with brand new eyes, 30 years later. And I'm going, you know what? I'm laughing at this movie. I get it. I fucking get it now. Like, this is what it was meant to be. It's the 60s series. When he pulls out the back card and stuff like that, that's all 1960s series type humor.
The hockey scene. Oh,
did we need George Clooney's badass though?
George Clooney. There's one thing that was wrong with that movie is he had the worst "I'm Batman" ever. He says, "Hello, Freeze. I'm Batman." I'm just like, oh boy.
But that's an Adam West thing, right? Like that's what I'm saying is he's kind of doing the Adam West thing, and that's basically what this is. This is an episode of the series. With Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze, basically, is what it is. And Mr. Freeze is played by, of course, he's played by Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger, right? Because that's something the TV show would have done.
What killed the dinosaurs?
Well,
the Ice Age.
It does have the funny line of "They put me in the cooler," which is one of the funniest.
Back to the cooler.
That's it. One of the funniest lines in any Batman.
Well, they destroyed the character of Bane in this one. I remember walking into the movie theater, and my friends were walking out, and they're like, "Don't go see it. It's horrible. This movie sucks."
They did really screw. Well, they screw up every character in this movie. That's the problem.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Let's rate it then.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's go up through the list real quick. Let's average out a rating here. I'll give it a C. Nick,
C.
Brian,
I'm conflicted, but you know what? I'm going to give it a D. I was thinking of an A.
Okay.
I was going to go F, but I thought,
all right,
there's a couple of things in it are okay. So it's a D.
It's a D for me, but after 6 beers, I might laugh.
Change your mind.
So since Mark jumped ahead of me, it's I am Mosey with a D.
Okay. And I think Mark's got to get rolling. That's probably why he did.
Oh yeah,
I was just a couple minutes. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, no, you're fine. So all right, y'all outvoted us C boys and got the D on that one. You got the D.
Well, I'm Mark D too, so yeah.
That's right. So next up, let's do a couple super chats here real quick, and then we'll let Mark go, and then we'll keep going. ActionCom says, I'll bet Morgan Freeman probably loves Superman 4. The movie Street Smart got funded by Superman 4, which launched Morgan's career. See, there you go.
Yeah.
Russ Newhouse. Oh, is that Archie Bunker? I love that picture. That's awesome.
It's true, because Reeve wanted Street Smart to be made. That was one of his conditions, was making Street Smart. Yeah.
Russ Newhouse said the Return of Swamp Thing was done by Riff Traps. I'm not surprised. Kalekioki says Batman Returns talks about the most profitable superhero movie of all time. Hasn't been a better Catwoman since. Certified S, but A according to Tom. Because there is no S, because if you put S on here, there's no F. So what's the difference? To me, it's just all the same.
Just turn it up to 11.
I don't get what this S tier thing is. I don't know. But all right, so Mark, you got a show coming up here, which this will redirect to afterwards, where you talk geeky news. I might pop in if I'm up to it. Before you go, have you seen Steel?
I had. Oh yes, Steel. Yeah, that's horrible. That's an F. Yeah.
That's an F.
Yeah.
I was waiting for this as a masterpiece.
You want to do the twofer and tell us how you feel about Catwoman while you're at it too?
Oh, the Catwoman's an F too. Yeah, Halle
I
Berry
figured as much.
I mean, there's eye candy in the movie, but that's an F too. And I'm also not a big fan of Batman Begins either. But just to throw that out there, I never liked that movie either. So, but
you didn't like Batman Begins.
I never really liked Batman, but there's not enough Batman stuff going on it. I can
understand certain aspects, but all right.
Yeah. But I don't have it. Well, we'll talk about it later. But yeah, just not a huge. It's okay movie, but not a huge fan of that one. But no, it was great being here tonight, and catch y'all later. And this is a great fun having to rank all these movies. Yeah, so it was good time, and catch you guys soon.
All right, take care.
See you, mate. See you later.
See you later.
All right.
Thanks.
So who disagrees with Mark on Steel? I think It's going to be tough to get that out of the F. I barely remember the movie.
On something for once in life.
I'm going to say D because it has Shaft in it, and that it deserves a D. It deserves to not be the worst thing of all time.
I don't know, dude.
No, it's not even got any campy charm. It's pretty poor.
Yeah.
It's just boring and weak. It was like,
The audience is saying F.
You don't like Shaft, the original Shaft. That's okay. That's okay, Chad.
Shaq, you mean?
I would say, Shaft.
Shaft.
The older guy.
Movie Shaft.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in it. Richard Roundtree. Oh, I forgot all about that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're totally right. I hated this. I don't even know. I don't think I even finished it. Well, and then plus it doesn't have anything to do with Superman.
It's boring.
No. And he says 5x5 all the time. And you're like, oh, dude, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, which is weird because Shaq's whole reasoning for being into Steel in the first place is because of his whole love for Superman. And there was that whole thing. And then it's like, how can you do a Steel movie and not have it any remote tie to Superman? It just
made no sense.
No. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think anybody's going to argue too much more than that. Sorry, I think you got outvoted there, especially by the audience. They'd kill us if we put it any higher, I think. If you see all those F's in the chat.
No, he's just like,
he left.
Shit, I'm out.
He left. Either that or his internet fucked up. But anyhow, we got Catwoman next. We'll keep moving along. I think
you'll be back, hopefully. I remember when I heard this is going to be a movie, and I thought to myself, you're kidding me, right? Halle Berry doesn't look like Catwoman at all, and I always thought she was an awful Storm. And then I saw the basketball scene. That scene is so bad.
You got to give her credit for accepting her golden raspberry in person, though. I give her credit for that.
I do. And the sad part about this is a movie that shouldn't have happened.
It should,
because this was the Michelle Pfeiffer movie that never got off the ground.
Yes.
For those who don't know where this movie even came from to begin with, why this even exists, is because they had spent so much money already on the version that Michelle Pfeiffer was going to be in that died on the vine, that they decided to revamp that somehow, some way into something so they could try and regain some money on it. And they put this thing out here, and it was just an ill-conceived notion from the start. So yeah, I don't know if anybody wants to make an argument.
It's dreadful. Yeah,
it is dreadful. Oh, Mo's back. I thought you were mad at us.
It didn't grab us by the pussy. Didn't grab us by the pussy.
Just StreamYard being StreamYard. Sorry.
I figured it was that, or you were that mad. But we gave Catwoman an F while you were gone.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. All right, next in line, we got Constantine. Now, this is one that I know is not close to the comic, but is a damn good fucking movie.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you guys think? Nick, where would you rate Keanu Reeves as Constantine?
I put it in 69, dude. Unfortunately, it's, I like Keanu Reeves, but it could have been a better movie, but it could have been worse. So it's a C.
Brian.
I actually enjoyed it more than that. And I'm
you
not
said
familiar.
A. I already heard you say A, so there.
A? Poser.
Yeah, he said A.
He said A.
Poser. And I don't know. I'm not comics guy, so I don't know about its fidelity, but I think it's an excellent movie. And I'd have, Peter Stormare is just so fucking good in this.
As the devil, yeah.
I enjoyed it immensely. I'd say it's a B for me at least. So could be an A. Could be an A.
I just rewatched this not that long ago, and it still holds up pretty good.
It's excellent. It's very, very enjoyable.
So,
love it.
I mean, we're all kind of all over the place here. Mo, what would you say?
I hate to say it. I've seen almost every single movie on this list. This is one that has escaped me.
Really?
So I apologize, but I've seen some of the scenes, and they look really good. The interaction with I guess Lucifer. I've seen some of the clips, but I have to abstain. I can't. I don't have enough of a experience to form an opinion.
No worries. I think between what we said and what I've seen the audience say, I think a solid B. I think
definitely a B for me, at least. A B, yeah.
All right. Now we're getting into some other ground here. So let's take some super chats because we got a couple more that just came in. Klekioki says with 5, Catwoman is a great watch when you're drunk. Well, you got to probably be drunk to get through it, I'm sure. And that was when I shut off too. I did not get through it all. Aside from the awful CGI and basketball movie, I got to look at something hot for an hour and 44 minutes. Deep for me. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. And then Kalecki says Catwoman in recent years also has a cult following. This is true.
Wow, cults are now officially terrifying.
Like they weren't bad enough before. Fuck the Kool-Aid thing.
The fact that there's
one for Catwoman
for that movie. Wow, I didn't think it could get worse than the Kung Flu cult, but now here we go with the Catwoman.
So we're missing a point on the Catwoman movie. It's Sharon Stone versus Sharon Stone, if you know what I mean.
That's true. Should we bump this to D? Now I'm starting to wonder. Hey, we got Flash in the chat. How you doing? I could tell this was Tom's list because it's top heavy. LOL. To the bin with the garbage. No mercy. Well, this is all what? I think our A tier is pretty goddamn good.
Oh, it's fucking amazing. Kidding me?
And I think our B tier is pretty goddamn good. And I think our C tier is and our D and our F is pretty well done so far. We got a few movies to go. Quit being a jerk, Flash. You want to get in here on this shit? I'll send you a link. He won't show up. He's probably got his kid. But he's dealing with his kid, I mean.
He's got standards. He won't show up.
Well, he's got family time.
He's swimming in the money from his recent comic release, like Scrooge McDuck. So we'll leave him to it.
Yeah. Let me send it to him. Even though he'll tell me, no, I'm good. I got my kid. We're just chilling. But I understand. It's usually when he spends time with his little owners, probably putting her to bed.
No. Dad time is dad time, man. Can't replace it.
Hey, man.
I know, and you know. So
I know.
And I think most of the panel does. So let's keep moving then. Thank you for that, guys. Put Superman 3. No, we made a good argument for it. I'm not going to move it. Hush your mouth unless you're going to send me $100. All right.
Oh, you might actually.
That's the price for you to get that out of that tier. All right. So where were we here? Next up, we've got. Let's see here. Batman Begins. So this is an interesting one. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I wouldn't put it in the C. I guess maybe I put it in the B. It's good, but I kind of understand where Mark's coming from. There's certain elements to it that I just was not a big fan of. And some of those things become a problem more so later on. But right now in this movie, I would say it was decent. It was a solid B, at least. Nick, what would you say for Batman Begins?
I'm going to have the most controversial take on this, and I don't give a shit. My constipated people. I'm going to give this movie an A.
Wow.
Yeah, there we go.
Controversial about that.
I thought you said you were constipated there for a minute.
No, I say constipated people don't give a shit.
Right.
Which is true, by the way. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. No, I'm going to give this movie an A. With the tank, the utilizing of the Batman voice from Christian Bale was the best done in this movie. He actually had the perfect balance.
He stole that from me.
Before he went death metal growling. Like it was like he wanted to be Chris Barnes era in The Dark Knight, then Rises. It went to George Fisher. That's a death metal reference for those in the chat. If you count that reference. But I don't like the changes made to Ra's al Ghul without the League of Assassins. It's the League of Shadows and the mystical aspect, the demons and all that. But I did love his origin story, and it was the most Batman movie of the bunch. And I like Scarecrow in the movie too, from Cillian Murphy. So it was definitely, for me, the most heroic Batman, the most Batman-centric of the movie. So I give Batman Begins a huge A. I own the original DVD on it, which comes with, by the way, a comic book that was really good. So
nice.
Just saying, own physical media, folks, because Batman Begins original DVD came with a comic. Back in the day when you bought shit like that, it actually came with a comic.
I will see your DVD with my HD DVD.
Ooh.
Yes. And I saw it in the theater in Mexico. I was on my honeymoon. And if you think that America has the the market cornered on people talking in the theater, you're wrong. I heard a 4-year-old saying "Quién es Batman? Quién es Batman?" the entire movie, while his dad had to explain it to him. So, but since I just kind of interjected here, it's an A to me, mainly because I love the character of Lucius Fox, and it
Great
was
character.
yeah, and it occurred from this movie. It's how you do it, introducing a character right. It was supposed to be, if I'm not mistaken, I think you might know more than I do in this respect. From what I've heard, it was supposed to be Alfred, but they broke it into 2 characters, and Lucius Fox became like the tech guy. But I loved his character in that. I loved him in the upcoming one we're going to talk about, The Dark Knight. But as far as I'm concerned, it's an A. I love the Tumblr. I love how he fights. Yeah, his voice is tuned in when he goes, "We got to rattle the cages." Like, he's not like going crazy. I love the psychotropic like drug aspect of it. Liam Neeson was great. Like, the whole thing was just awesome. It felt like Batman in real life, and you felt like it could actually happen, and that's why I love that movie.
The only reason I say B is because Dark Knight is better. That's the only reason. I'll be 100%. That's the only
Well,
reason.
this is the problem for, in a sense, because you really want to judge the trilogy as a whole. And so sometimes
if I do that, then
sometimes it's difficult to separate the pieces of them, especially the first one, which has to set up things. It's an absolutely stacked cast, most of whom are great. It's got really good. I mean, Christopher Nolan's great for the visuals. I do like his tone. I mean, generally a big fan of his. There's a couple of misfires, a couple of notable misfires, but I keep thinking, where do I place it amongst the 3? I think probably it's just enough, considering what was to come, that for me it would be a B.
That's my
rather
thing,
than
yeah.
an A. I think it's just not. There's a couple of things are not quite right about it, but it's still pretty damn good.
Exactly.
I'd give it a B,
like,
B plus
yeah.
B, but it's a B. Given that
All
there's
right.
other things that are A.
All right, well, we got to split.
That's for
here.
me.
That's
Though.
the thing.
That's just for me.
So, I mean, I could still go either way, but that's my problem, is that Dark Knight is better. So, I guess I have to pose that question to you, Nick and Mo. Which one would you say is better, Dark Knight or Batman Begins?
Or are
do you
they
see them
both
as
equally?
equals?
Are they both equals? Yeah.
I'd say they're both part of the same pie.
Batman Begins.
If you're going to put Batman Begins in the same category as Batman Forever and Superman 2,
Rachel is better in Batman Begins with Katie Holmes.
well, no kidding. Like, you could have dressed up, like, you could have brought Michael Keaton back, put a wig on him. It would have been better than Maggie Gyllenhaal.
If The Dark Knight came out today, the way people are cheering at Endgame for when Thanos decked Captain Marvel in the face, people have given the same amount of energy to when Rachel blew up in The Dark Knight.
Boy, you really hate Maggie Gyllenhaal, don't you?
I mean, I have no problem with it being in an A. I'm trying to differentiate.
I'm gonna put it in A's.
Excellent.
I don't hate Maggie, but I don't think...
I still love Dark Knight. It's a fantastic movie.
I'm going to put it in A's for now. We'll get to Dark Knight.
Okay.
Low A for sure.
A minus,
so,
I would have said.
So we'll leave it there for now, and we'll see what happens. Because we got Superman Returns next. Well, this is a mixed bag and a half. Like, some great things, some not so great things, some very, very, very bad things. Guys, help me out with this one. Mo, where would you place Superman Returns?
Brandon Routh is great as Superman.
Right.
There's some great the airplane scene is great. Lois Lane drinking scotch without ice in it makes me want to punch somebody. But that's besides the point. I think it's a C because he doesn't punch anybody. He's a deadbeat dad. I don't like a lot of the lore in this movie is horrible. So I would say C.
It's got issues, yeah.
It's got a lot of issues, but it's still a good popcorn movie. Like when I can't enjoy it and you're taking me out of the movie, you've reached D. If I can at least eat popcorn, I'm like, got my money's worth. You're a C. So it's a low C. Like, it's underneath Superman 3 because it's so plotting and it wastes all the actors in the movie, like, a lot. Like, everybody should have done well. They've cast everybody well.
Except for Lois. I hate the chick that got playing Lois.
She's way too young. Yeah.
Exactly.
She did a good job, but she wasn't believable, if that makes any sense. Like, she just didn't look like she belonged there. But aside, like, Tim Olsen was great. Everybody else was good. But I would say it was a C because it seemed like it was going to pay off while you watched the movie, and it never did. It was just
the ending. Yeah, the third act goes into some weird fucking. It's like we've seen most of this shit before. You got an infinitely more interesting story going on where Superman's got a kid now all of a sudden out of wedlock that he just left on the planet for 5 years. Where you're going, wait a minute. Let's get back to that idea first, right? Like, fuck. What is Luthor doing? He's doing the same shit he tried to do last time. Like, what the hell is this? And then Superman punches you.
Yeah, let's recap Superman's story here. Hey, my hometown got set on fire. Let me go check it out. Oh, wait, I got a son? What? Like, it's just like it's like he leaves the earth and doesn't realize he has like the whole thing is just like a fever dream. It's not woke, it's not anything. It's just like it's poorly put together, and I just don't like it.
I don't hate the idea of Superman having a kid, right? It's how it was handled, right? And then Luthor, his whole plot again is just the same shit as kind of last time, only you're adding some water to the crystals. Okay.
I really, really wanted to like it, and I was kind of
me too.
Going, you know what? That wasn't what I was hoping for. Routh was fine, and there was some good stuff about it, but it's no better than a C.
That's
probably a C minus if there was such a thing. I don't think it's as bad as a D. Yeah,
I'm teetering there too. Like I'm like it's because I agree with Mo. 3 is I mean I already knew 3 was better, but Superman 3 was better. But I mean, it sucks because we never got the follow-up that probably had a lot more promise to it. And I've heard a few things here and there about it, but that's not the point. The point was the first movie was supposed to get us back in the theaters. It was supposed to be that counterpart to Batman Begins where Superman returns, that kind of a thing. And it just didn't pan out the way I think they hoped it would, and vice versa or whatever. Whichever
it's a little bit dull in places, really.
It's boring in places. It drags in many places.
Yes,
and then
exactly.
On top of Superman not only being a deadbeat dad, he was a fucking creepazoid stalker to Lois Lane, which he wouldn't do.
Yeah,
and then the whole him leaving and just like abandoning and being gone for so long, and then I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
It needed more action as well. It definitely needed more action.
Way more action. It was
it needed more action, and the storyline shouldn't have been that Superman took off. The storyline should have been Lois and Clark constantly dealing with the debate of, can you be a father and Superman at the same time? And shouldn't we give this kid a chance to have a normal life until all of a sudden the signs start showing up that he's not going to be normal. And then that starts bringing in the question of, well, what do we do? Should Clark then take some sort of fatherly role here? And again, it still paints Superman as a bit of a deadbeat dad, but it also puts him in a place of like somebody who's in a very dangerous job all the time and who's very, I know this other guy can give him a much better life as his father. I'm not even going to interfere. You know what I mean? He's making the hard choice for his son. And maybe that's what the story should have been. Like all these years later, Lois is starting to notice that this kid is starting to have, tendencies to be a superhero. What do I do? And that's kind of what opens up the story to their, and then they start questioning, well, maybe we should have stayed together or whatever. And then Superman's got a question, well, do I have the time to be a father, a husband, and still save the earth all at once? I mean, that could have been the main thing. And then you got Luthor pulling his bullshit in the background, and it should have been a better plot. Like his plot was so horrendously bad. But anyway, we've wasted more time on Superman Returns than I wanted to. I guess are we agreeing C or D? What would you say real quick, Mom?
I'm a D, man.
D. I would say D.
Mainly
because somebody in the chat said, okay, given her, because I said about her age and the age of her child, I'm like, oh, that makes it really.
Yeah, I could live with a D.
Yeah, D.
I mean, I said C, but if everyone else is D, I'm fine.
It's nothing. It's boring.
All in line.
It's
with
wasted
the
potential.
70s.
Yeah, the audience is really D. What about you, Nick?
D. Huge.
Right.
Yes, we've heard you. We know, Nick, you like the
but...
huge D. We do know you like the huge D.
I'm not going to fight for this one.
I'd be concerned if you did fight for this one.
Yeah, no, it's not worth it. Dark Knight, though, is a great film as far as I'm concerned, and arguably one of the best superhero films of all time. I know some people don't like it, but not many. I know most people praise it quite a bit. So that was where I was asking, is it better or not better? And we kind of already had this debate and talk, so I guess now we got to really decide. Are you guys comfortable with putting it right next to Batman Begins?
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
All right, I know no
certainty.
fights or arguments there. All right. I didn't think there would be, but we'll see what happens when we get to Dark Knight Rises. Watchmen from Zack Snyder poo.
Man, it's sad that this was his best thing. And
I was just about to make that same fucking joke.
and it's still not all that great.
Okay, I understand,
It doesn't
rest in
suck.
peace, Clobby. I understand why he hates the ending. I do.
Oh,
I
yeah,
truly
I'm
do.
with him.
But at the same time, I'm one of those people where I'm like, you know what? It kind of makes more sense for the movie.
Yeah, you can't drop a giant squid on this.
And not only that, it
in the movie.
ties
Yeah.
Manhattan in with the final plot point and his whole thing of like the meandering of through the whole fucking movie. Like, yeah. Sorry,
I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, I didn't even particularly.
You just like the huge wang.
I did. I did. I still do enjoy this movie quite a bit when I watch it. And it's
I actually prefer the theatrical cut over the director's cut.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. I
don't mind the extended over fucking indulgent Snyder cut of this one.
I feel like the director's cut drags ass harder. Third cut, I'm like, oh, okay, this movie doesn't overstay its welcome. I was, for my complaints I had the movie, I actually credited the movie for, feeling like, oh, it's perfect where it needs to be in terms of the runtime. And I heard as a director's cut, I'm like, what?
Jackie Earl Haley just fucking kills it.
Oh, he's
most of the cast is great.
Yeah,
but Jackie Earl Haley stands out amongst them all. But
I loved him when he wasn't Rorschach, when he was like, "You walked in here with me." I was like, "Yeah,
that's right." Yeah, that's just so good.
Yeah, and I mean, Nick's not wrong. I mean, here's the thing: I have not watched any version of this movie since like my blowout with Snyder, like to the point where. Yeah, so I don't know if I've rewatched this movie now, if I'll think the same way, or if the Snyderisms will just drive me fucking nuts, I bet. But you're probably not wrong, because I do remember the theatrical cut after seeing it going, you know what? He did a damn good job, or they did a damn good job of really crunching the story down into everything you needed.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like I missed out on anything necessarily. There's things I would have liked to have seen, but like I was like, no, you know what? It managed to get everything that was important in a Watchmen film in a decent amount of time.
Mm-hmm. I would have given it a B if they went with the giant, the squid. But I'm gonna be like Club. I'm gonna be that guy. But I'll still give it a C. That's the nicest for me. That's like giving Zack Snyder an A for me to give him a C. So.
It does feel to me though like what a graphic novel should feel like if it's filmed. I mean, it does feel like that, and that's a good thing, I think. And I've not read any of the comics or graphic novels or whatever you want to call them, but
there's
it's
only
a B for
one
me.
Watchmen story.
Yeah, it's a B for me, but
no, I mean, actually, as far as the movie goes. The only thing that he really changed anybody really changed, I think Goyer and whoever else wrote it, was the ending.
And I don't mind the ending, but then again, I don't
see, and that's kind of to me. I was kind of always one of those where I was like, yeah, the squid thing, I makes sense to me. It's like, okay, so it's basically an alien attack on New York or whatever it is, and that's supposed to bring world peace together because aliens exist now, even though they technically don't exist. It was just a big ruse by Ozymandias, but. That being said, it works in the film because, like I said, you have this whole thing throughout the entire film, which is also present in the comic, where, Doc Manhattan is kind of like questioning his existence and what he actually means and what his place is in this world, if he even belongs on this world. And at the end of the comic, he still has the same revelation he does in the movie. And that is that, there is such thing as miracles because you exist, when he talks to, what's-her-face, Spectre, his version, the younger one. and the whole thing that happened with her. But then it actually adds another layer to the fact that he actually understands why Ozzy is doing what he's doing. And he's like, no, this needs to be the way it needs to be, this, because and he's like, I'm going to piece the fuck out anyway. So this is going to bring world peace. This is the one way I can save the world. So that's kind of how I understand of what the compromise was there. And I get it. And I thought, okay, that's fine. And it brings everything kind of nicely together. And then it still works with Rorschach going, no, I'm not going to let that fucking happen, because that's not the truth. And the truth is more important than this bullshit. Right. And he's like, well, if you're going to kill me, then kill me. And he kills him, but he still gets his journal out there. Right. So that's like the whole, all that's in the movie still. So like the only thing they changed was just, instead of it being a squid monster, Ozzy makes it out that Doc Manhattan blew up New York. Like he went crazy and just blew up New York. And Doc's like, yeah, I'll go along with it. That's it. That's the only change for those who have never seen it. So like, I got to give it a B or a C on that, at least if not an A. I was going to go with A, but you guys have talked it
I'm
down,
somewhere
so.
between B and A. It's a B plus for me, but I'll go with B. I recognize that there's a couple of things that are possibly flawed in it, but it's definitely at least a B for me.
And it's pre-woke, so it's able to just be as hella, you know, as graphic as it wants to be, and as, you know, normal, I guess, for lack of a better word. Okay, so yeah, we're getting a couple A's, a lot of B's. I guess we'll go with B.
I agree with that. I thought it was very enjoyable.
Now we're getting to the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, but at the same time, Dr. Manhattan, it may be woke, but Dr. Manhattan's a real bloke, because he's perfected the art of being able to talk to a woman and do other things at the same time without her even knowing it. Like,
no, I said it's not woke. I said it managed not to be woke, but it was pre-woke. So like, yeah, it's not woke at all.
You can have sex and play video games at the same time.
No, it's very not woke. That was my point. Jonah Hex is our next one. And the fact that this movie is under 90 minutes long still doesn't help it. It's still too goddamn long. Who thought this was a good idea?
I've only seen it once, and I can barely
never read
remember
the comics, but yeah, like I just remember it being a horrible, horrible movie and just unwatchable by the end. It's only like an hour and 17 minutes long. It's really fucking short. Nick, do you remember it at all?
That's a relief. That's a relief. Yeah.
I watched it once, and I never watched it again.
Yeah.
What would you give it a rating anyway?
At the minimum, at the maximum, sorry, a D. It sucks. It fucking sucked. It should have been good. It sucked so much ball sack. And I hate that it sucked as much sack as it did. But here we are, and we're still living with the devastating effects of fucking up Jonah Hex. Well, at least Batman the Animated Series had a good episode on him, and there was a good a comic on him in the 2000s, so at least there's that. But this movie,
well, that's my understanding. I'm not real familiar with the comic all that much, but from what I know, it doesn't really doesn't do the comic justice at all.
No, not at all. He wanted this type of movie too. That's a funny part. I wanted a Jonah Hex movie. And
all right, I was close. It's 81 minutes. Yeah, there you go.
I'll spend 81 minutes watching Showdown in Little Tokyo. Way better movie.
And honestly, I probably watched it without the credits because I probably watched like a fucking bootleg of it. Fuck it, the statute of limitations is up. So it probably did clock in about an hour and 17 without the credits.
Yeah. I think
it's a waste of a good cast. That's what drives me crazy.
Yeah, well,
it's quite a good soundtrack.
Josh Brolin out too. Yeah,
the soundtrack was quite good. It was Mastodon.
Oh yeah,
they did the music. It was okay. Yeah. The music was okay, but I mean, it's seen it once, you'll never see it again type movie. So yeah,
it's one of the few movies I don't own. And I don't have any of those ones in that F category there.
I saw it in a thrift store the other day and I didn't pick it up. That's
It's not even worth a quarter. Fuck you.
What's it worth?
You gotta pay me to take this son of a bitch.
Yeah. If you don't watch a movie, if you never ever even think of a movie again after you've seen it, you know it's not good.
Exactly. No, it's funny because it's all these movies that are in the F tier I do not own. The rest I do. That's a fact. Thus far. So, all right, because here's where that might change.
Oh, no. You're talking about the greatest movie ever made.
And if Klobby was here, he'd argue for it too.
Oh,
Lord, here we go.
The greatest Green Lantern movie made in 2011 ever.
With that stipulation, I guess I got to agree. Yeah. And Mo hasn't seen either one of these, so we're not leaving him out. He stepped away. Fuck. I hated this movie, but at the same time, okay, the theatrical cut is actually, in my memory, better than the director's cut. Unless I'm misremembering something.
I got both in here, and I think I would typically watch the theatrical version.
I was gonna say, because like the director's cut just adds more to the fucking bullshit.
I don't really think it's quite as bad as other people make it.
It's got enjoyable moments.
It was okay. I mean,
the guy playing Sinestro is real good.
That's
hey, Brahma.
Is good.
Hey, what's up?
Cast is good.
Hi,
Like hey, Brahma. It's a D.
Oh yeah, I could accept a D.
I would even go as far as almost to C if I was feeling good on the day. But I'll go with you guys. But
well, if Tox was here, he'd be arguing it. Like
Tox would get an A.
He
would put an A, and it's not that
like
good.
fuck you guys on this list. This is the only movie that deserves to be in the A tier. He'd be going off about it.
Yeah, I could live with the C, but if you guys choose otherwise, fine.
I'd say C.
You'd say C.
A movie
That's
that was
fun.
dominantly on Earth for a space cop. Come on. Fuck that.
Well, it's
shit.
just subverting expectations.
I
Isn't that
don't
such
give a
good thing to
rat's
do?
ass. That should have been a space cop dominant.
It's a C
movie.
minus. It's a C minus.
That's why we don't have a spot in
I'm
between.
gonna
That's the
vomit
problem.
everywhere.
Because here's the thing. Like, yeah, I don't know.
It's
I'm
quite
kind
good
of
fun. There is some fun in it.
I gotta put it in the D's. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go on then.
That fucking suit. That's the reason why.
Suit, the completely CG suit was.
That's what made me put it in the D. I thought about it for a minute, and I'm like,
man.
no, that's like Sonic level shit. They should have fixed that.
Somebody should have been sued for that shit and fired.
That was a dumb idea. Yeah. All right. Now, here's gonna be my controversial take. The Dark Knight Rises. I hate this fucking movie. Hate it. Why is it even called The Dark Knight Rises? It should be called The Dark Knight Rises from his chair finally after about 2.5 hours. That's what it should be called.
Surely the second one should have been called Rises.
Right? This should have
If
been
you
called
think about
The
it,
Dark
so that-
Knight's barely in it.
But just, yeah. Okay.
I would like to have.
What was
the
your joke,
magic
Brian? No,
erase.
seriously, I want to hear yours.
No, I don't know. I don't think I had a joke. I was just going to say I don't know anything about the character Bane from the comics, but I hated what they did to Tom Hardy, and I still hate it. One of the greatest actors of our time. I hated that. I just couldn't stand what they did to him there. I don't care what the justification is. I hated it.
Do
Hey,
you
that-
feel like you're in charge?
That was a great scene, though. Come on.
I hate this movie.
And then-
I hate it.
I know. I'm sorry. You know,
So I
what?
know the rest of you guys probably like it. That's why I'm free. I'm like,
Yes,
have
I
at
do.
it.
The
problem
comedy
is-
or clips on this movie are better. I fight crime in a rubber outfit. Feels in the flavor.
It does.
It's too long and it's very, very overblown. And
Yes.
it's very full of itself.
With my dick.
I would say it's a C, even though
His Batman voice and this is the worst. Where is it?
Yeah,
where's the
parodies
trigger?
are great.
I like when
of
the
it,
bomb they're supposed to go off in 5 minutes and they talk for another 10 minutes or so. And I'm probably exaggerating. It probably was like supposed to go off in 2 minutes, but they talk for like 7 more minutes. But holy crud.
My favorite part is where Bruce Wayne is in the middle of Paris in the age of internet and social media and nobody notices him. That was, yeah, no, that was great. No, it felt like a rushed uh finale to a series, much like if anybody's seen Alias. The last episode was like, what? We're just throwing all the shit in here, aren't we?
That's right.
That's exactly what this movie feels like. They had all
it
these
was
ideas.
because
and they're
Nolan
like,
was being forced into making this movie against his will, pretty much, right? Like it was. He lost all the fire after he lost Heath Ledger because he had a totally different plan going forward that got completely fucking just derailed by that.
It felt like it, yeah.
And then you can tell, you can totally tell in this movie, it's just piss ass boring. And you got Batman moping through the whole fucking movie, or should I say Bruce Wayne moping through the whole fucking movie until he finally becomes Batman, and he decides to fake kill himself, and that's the end.
Remember the knee brace that magically cured his leg?
Oh God. And it's almost the same fucking plot as the first movie, which they reuse again in the Batman. So I'm just like, yeah.
And you've got Anne Hathaway, who's never brilliant in anything.
Oh God, she's the second worst fucking Catwoman ever. Sorry, I'll say it.
She is the second worst Catwoman
well, who's the
ever.
first?
I agree.
The one in Zoe Kravitz.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
Halle Bailey is actually better than those two.
If you said Eartha Kitt, I'm out of here.
She's in the top 5. No, like the top 3 the bottom of the barrel is fucking Zoe Kravitz, fucking what's her face in this, and then fucking Halle Berry. And I've never even seen Catwoman, but at least she got a decent costume. That's why I put her above the other two.
And I want to be clear. I love Tom Hardy and I loved Bane. I hated the mask.
Ditto. Yeah, I just don't like the take on it. Like, I agree with you. It's like, I'd almost rather go back to the bad take that we got from Batman and Robin at that point, because it just was too...
The look was there for a little bit in Robin, except he acted like Ricky Ritardo in Batman.
I know, right?
Yeah,
the look was great.
He's supposed to actually be intelligent, like very, 10 steps ahead.
And that's that movie's biggest mistake, right? Is Schwarzenegger should have been playing Bane. And who cares? You change his origin a little bit. So what? Who cares? Like, I think at that point, people wouldn't have cared in 1997 because it's fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. But at this point, now you got Tom Hardy playing him, and it's even farther probably from the mothership in some ways, even though he's more intelligent. They make him all tied in with this other... It's just...
I love that for like 3 to 5 movies there, Tom Hardy just wasn't allowed to talk or talk normally.
Yeah.
He still doesn't really. I mean, he's never, except for like the Mad Max movie is like the only one. Because even in fucking Venom, he's doing that accent thing, the weird voice or whatever he's doing, the whole Woody Allen thing.
Tom Hardy's
accent. Yeah,
all I can think of is Bane doing all the memeable lines as Arnold Schwarzenegger. I was born in it, raised in it. I was molded by it.
If you want to find a fast
I would
way
watch that.
What about you, Batman? You think you know the dark? I know the dark. Yeah.
Dude, how about when he got back from that Egyptian area? We have no idea how he got back. Think about
that's not important.
All right, you guys are supposed to be fighting with me here, how this is supposed to be up in the list, and y'all aren't giving me good reason.
I'll let you put it at C. It would be a B for me personally. I enjoyed it.
Go with a D.
It's not unenjoyable. It's just there's got a lot of flaws compared to some of the other ones.
I tried watching it since the first time I saw it in theaters, and I have not been able to get through it since.
I would say it's a high C.
The college humor brings it up to a C because
all right.
It's been a long time since the bat's been in the cave, if you know what I mean.
If you know what I mean.
Because while I did like Batman Forever, I don't think I would put it above this. I would put them probably equal.
I stabbed you first with my dick.
I'm going to speak for all the other older people on the panel. We want that magic knee brace. That's why we rated it so low.
Next up is one I have not actually seen. I know, surprise of surprises. I do own it. I just haven't watched it yet. V for Vendetta. So who wants to start with this one?
Remember the 5th of November. The gunpowder treason and plot. I can think of no reason the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. Great movie.
I also like how I like how V changed a liberal's opinion by putting them in a fake jail cell for 8 months. That's how they should be had their mind changed.
True.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I love it. It's one of those movies where you could just supplant whatever opinion you have on the world on top of it, and it'll make sense to you. And that is
Yeah.
the hallmark of a great movie. Like
The
whatever
left
you think
claims
is
it, the
evil.
right claims it.
Yeah,
Yep.
everyone claims it.
Yep, and it's enjoyable all across the board. And being from Irish heritage, when they go, "Oh, your grandmother's Irish," shame. I'm like, "Oh, that's brutal." Like I love
Sounds
how
like
they
my
lean
life.
into it, man. It's so good, and you have John Hurt. Oh, I love that movie so much. It's so good. Stephen Fry does a great job in the movie. Like it's just a wonderfully acted movie. I love that movie to death. I think it deserves an A because it has so much cultural relevance nowadays. It needs to be an A, but that's just me.
It's a movie everybody should be forced to see. But yeah, I'd put it in A as well. Very quotable movie, very fun movie. And yeah, the cultural relevance is way up there at this point.
It's an A for me.
I can't believe you haven't seen it, Tom.
Powerful movie.
It's just one that got past me. It's not like I avoided it or anything. I just never got around
Looks
to
good
it.
too. It's a great
I got the
looking
4K
movie.
now, so like yeah. So I've been planning on checking it out, and then like November 5th will always pass, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot I was gonna watch. You know, like yeah. So maybe I just gotta watch it one of these days, and yeah.
It's very
Well,
powerful.
Yeah, you do.
Take the politics and the commentary out. It's Hugo Weaving at his best.
Oh
It's
god,
amazing.
yeah.
Yes.
Without ever really seeing him talk.
Yeah,
No.
because he's not even barely in the movie. He came in after the fact. I know that part of the
It's
story.
a good cast. I mean, John Hurt is fantastic.
Mhm.
As Adam Sutler, I think. real
Sutler,
creative.
yes.
Yeah.
So
Stephen
A.
Ray. That's a great cast.
So A.
Yes,
Alright.
A.
All A. All day.
All right. And last but definitely not least, as we're about to probably see Batman Mask of the Phantasm. As I'm sure most of you would probably agree, it's A tier. So that's why I don't even see there's much
Favorite
argument for it.
Batman movie, period. Still, Kevin Conroy is the best Batman. And even though he's absolutely psychotic, Mark Hamill's still the best Joker. And the Phantasm was a great villain. And it was a great story about what happens when things go wrong, when Batman truly finds genuine happiness.
It's a better story than
Masterpiece of a
Dark
movie.
Knight Rises, and it's basically the same plot.
Dude, such a good movie.
I
loved it
notice
as
how
a
nobody
kid.
ever notices that.
So that are you saying that the Rises ripped off Mask of the Phantasm?
Yes, basically,
I
and
never
just
actually thought of that.
replaced Raj Al Ghul and his daughter for what's his face, the Phantasm and his
Yeah,
daughter.
the Phantasm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hot dog.
So I have a unique viewpoint on this, and it's because I saw it in the theater when I was 13 years old, or however old we were when it came out, Tom, because we're the same age.
Mhm.
I didn't understand like the topics and like I liked it, but I didn't quite understand. But as much as people love this, like I've only seen it once, and it was in the theater in 1994 or whenever it came out. I saw it the weekend it came out. The reverence that this movie gets, I need to watch it again. I've only seen it once, and it was 31 years ago. So
It's because it really leans into the adult compared to the show.
I remember
it does,
when he
yeah.
turns the chair around and the dead body's there, and I'm like, oh, I'm like,
Yeah,
this
it
isn't like
really
the
leans
DC,
into
yeah.
that a lot. Like, if anything, this is probably the Batman 3 we wish we had gotten. Right? Like, this was the
Yes.
serious Batman story that everybody wanted. And that's why it's considered what that. And at the same time, is there episodes of the show that I like better? Absolutely. Is there, that are probably more memorable and better episodes?
Oh,
But
Clayface,
Batman Mask of the
Clayface.
Phantasm just hands down captures the beauty of the show. The great storytelling of the show, the voice cast brought in is similar to, like, it is one of the better representations of, we're going to do a movie of a TV show, right? And what's funny is because of how it started out as a straight to video film, and then people started realizing, oh, this is good. Maybe we should put this in theaters. Well, then Warner Brothers didn't get behind it the way they should have, and it got rediscovered later. And one of the people that was a big champion for it, believe it or not, was Roger Ebert.
Mm.
When it came out on Laserdisc, he talked about it all the time. He's like, this is a movie everybody should see. It's the greatest Batman movie ever. It's even better than the Keaton Batman movies and all that stuff he was saying. He was a big cheerleader for it. And yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't think it would have been lost obscurity, but
The
I think there's a
animation's
time where it
great
could have
too.
been.
The actual animation is fantastic.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it showcases
That I
the
do
animation they
remember.
did for the show and stuff. Yeah. So I don't know. I have a hard time not putting it anywhere but
An
the
A.
A's. So yeah.
Agreed.
And yeah, here we go, Batman Sub-Zero and stuff like that. But wasn't that straight to video, guys? I don't remember that
Yeah,
going to
the
theaters,
video,
did
it
it?
was.
Yeah,
This
I was
is-
gonna
this
say.
is-
It was
You'll-
released a year later. It was supposed to come out in 97 straight to video, but it got pushed back an entire year because they were worried that the disastrous performance of Batman Robin would be linked to it because Mr. Freeze was the villain. And it's really unfortunate because Sub-Zero in an ideal world should have had a theatrical release and with better timing of release would have been lauded critically and audience wise. It is such a great movie. It really is. It's one of my favorite not Sub-Zero. One of my favorite Mr. Freeze stories ever. It's such a good, powerful movie. Would highly recommend to anyone. If you're a Batman fan, essential watching. Essential.
And-
if you didn't watch it,
yeah.
you're a poser. Straight up.
And real quick, Batman Beyond, The Return of Joker, the director's
Good
cut.
one too. Yes.
Yeah, that one. That's why you have all these wonderful cartoons from WB Animation after that, because it hit so hard. If that came out in theaters, that belongs on this list, and it should be an A tier because the brutal nature of it, not the original cut. It's so good. But I need to watch Mask of the Phantasm again. People are attacking me in chat, which you should. It's been 31 years since I've seen it, but I want to watch it again because to me, I just didn't understand the levity and the tone.
Yeah, I don't know if you have UHD or not, but they brought out a 4K last year. In fact, I think it's fairly affordable. If you bought the box set of the whole series of Batman, the animated series on Blu-ray, I think it's in there. Honestly, I think all the movies are, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. It may only be in the big box, the original one when it was in a book. But as far as I know, in both versions, it's all the movies are in there. So
I need.
So
to
if you
buy
have
those
that, you
Blu-rays.
already own it.
No, I don't have it, but I'm going to.
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah, that
Box set's
series is
great.
definitely worth it. Yeah,
It's worth it. It's got a great photo book, and it's got a great book that all the discs come with for the Batman.
and it's got the
series,
Sub-Zero and
Batman
Catwoman movie in
Adventures.
it.
Yes, both the movies. It
All
is
three of them.
a
Yeah.
beautiful piece of physical media worth owning. Like, seek it out if you can in that particular format, because they did re-release it, but the formatting for it is a bit different and trimmed down, and it's just not the same great box set that was it 2018 or 19 when they came out, Tom?
Yeah, I think it has all the same discs. It just doesn't have the book, and it doesn't have
it doesn't have the
stuff
book.
like that, so.
Yeah, it's a trimmed down version.
Either way, both of them are worth it as far as I know, unless they're missing some discs. I didn't know if they carried over the movies or not, but I think they did. So, yeah, I know the one I have has all the movies in it. So, but I also have the 4K version of it. So, do check it out if you get a chance. And yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this list. Although, I don't know, Batman Begins I think is more of a B, but that's just me. But I also would love if Superman 3 was higher, but Flash would kill. So whatever. What do you guys think? Anybody really want to argue or debate the list as is? Somebody feel like something was not justified?
I'm trying to think.
I mean, I would have put the Watchmen at A. I know Nick would have argued heavily with me.
Oh, what the fuck is your problem? I still feel like it should be.
We've had that argument many, many times.
Yeah. We're not going to go down that road.
But I'm fine with a B.
Time.
Yeah. And people are asking, is that the list? Yeah, because the other ones on here are just doubles.
We all know where I
yeah.
argue with Watchmen, but I already know I'm going to get outnumbered, so it just makes no sense to argue when I get outnumbered. Supergirl should have been an F.
for you.
And how was it?
Supergirl should have been an F. That's how it was. But
You know, I'm not totally disagreeing with you, but I
Live with that.
I hate it because when you look at her, she looks like a Supergirl. It's a good movie poster, and she actually is a cool comic book character. Like, I've read Supergirl comics, not as many as Superman, but I like that character. It's one of the very rare derivative versions of a character where there's stuff there that you can have some fun with. but that movie does not get it. I hate saying that. I don't feel good about saying that, especially about Supergirl. At least with Catwoman, Halle Berry, I take pride and have fun making fun of that piece of shit.
Could swap them too.
There's a part of me that actually hurts. I'm not mad, Supergirl. I'm disappointed.
I can't bring it down.
Oh God! Oh God! Get that shit off.
All right. Well, then that's the list. I don't think any good reason to move them around. Catwoman owned its badness, though, so like, regardless, it knows it's a bad movie.
She went to the Razzies.
Yeah,
she
went. She did take her Oscar with her when she went, though.
It knows. It knows.
I don't know. Does that get that a D? Like meta?
No.
I can see an argument for it, but
yeah,
I don't need Nick having an aneurysm.
I'm for it.
I do kind of value having him around, so.
Oh, thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
I mean, it's always subjective at the end of the day.
It is, yes, indeed. All right, well, we've got Superior Knave, who sends in 5 Canadian, says, your stream should be grading all the Batmobiles, TV and film. Also, you should do a watch party on Batmobiles documentary. You're welcome. I think I have that documentary on one of the discs. Yeah, I could see a Batmobile tier list being a possibility. I don't know if we could spend the whole breadth of a show on that, but that might be a fun one for like a Thursday or something like that when we're slow news day. Because I've been thinking of that as like there's some of these shorter lists that'd be real easy to do. So like on slower news days we might do them. So keep an eye out for that. Jason Webster says absolutely love V for Vendetta. Hugo Weaving was amazing as V. A tier for me. The graphic novel is my all-time favorite. Well, there you go. You got your wish. Jason Webster says Christian Bale makes Batman sound like he has emphysema. Yeah, well, that's why he gets made fun of so much. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for joining us on this. This was a good show. I thought we had a pretty good list here. I think I'm proud of this list, as we always are. And I'll have to put some thought into what next week is going to be. So until then, Mo, what do you got coming up? Anything?
Yes. I'm doing the Monday Hangover. We're going to be reviewing The Abyss, one of my favorite movies.
He finally got his way.
The chat finally got their way, which is
great. I thought that Jay is the one who's been wanting that for so long.
Oh,
so
me too. I love the movie so much. Yeah, I actually like. Yeah, I have the VHS. Yeah. Anyways, I rewatched it again today. It's so amazing. But anyways, I have that tomorrow on Monday, and then on Thursday, I'm going to be doing starting a month-long stream of it's called StreamYard Sucks, because it does. I'm going to be reviewing and putting money into other streaming platforms where I try to see what other platforms are viable alternatives, because StreamYard is just out of control. That has so many problems. It's way too expensive. And I'm going to do a deep dive into seeing what other things exist. So that's what I have going on. And thanks for having me on the show. This was super fun. This is like a speed run of my childhood. I love it.
If you want, I think we did. Sorry, Mo, if you want to have a chat about Talk Studio, that's the one I use. I can maybe give you some info, some input to that.
Well, you're more than welcome to be on the stream. I'm trying to get people that are hating StreamYard. So,
oh, dude,
be on,
I think everybody's going to be hating StreamYard. Unfortunately, the price goes up
immediately. Once I saw Jack and Rose were like starting to lean in on the edge over there, I'm like, fuck these bitches. I'm jumping out the Titanic. Now I'm getting ahead.
It's insane the amount they want me to pay for the re-up for the GCA. It's insane. But regardless, I would, if anybody's interested, they're more than welcome to be on the stream. We're just going to do like a speed. We're just going to try it out and see how it works. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for having me on. It's super fun. I love talking about all these pre-DCU movies.
I'm glad to have you. Bramable, what you got going on?
Yeah, sorry I didn't get here earlier. Had the family over, and
that's all right.
When I checked in, it looked like there were still a whole bunch of movies left, but I guess those were all doubles. So I probably would have just stayed off. But thanks for the invite. Yeah, Saturday night I've got Bourbon and Boarding with 70s, and then Sunday mornings I've got the Bullpen, where me and Little Chad go over the week in politics. So check those out.
Awesome sauce. All right. And you're also on the Tuesday and Thursday show, usually on comics?
Monday, Thursday.
Or Monday, Thursday, whatever the hell it is.
Tuesday with Mad on his new channel.
Yeah. Have they started watching Mobland yet? Because I watched it because you told us to. So we're going to talk about it this week.
I don't know where comics is on it. I was actually getting ready to do the latest episode right after this.
Episode 5
me too.
today.
Yeah, me too.
We should just all watch it together backstage.
Yeah, we should. There you go.
Yeah.
Like a date, like a Netflix and
You
chill.
could hold virtual hands.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. Maybe even touch tips.
Couple cigarettes, couple drinks, Mobland in the back.
That's right. Brian, I know you do a show on Mondays, don't you?
I do. So tomorrow's show will be about 1983 Canadian animated movie Rock and Rule.
I actually have a Blu-ray of that, a bootleg Blu-ray.
Quite rare. Yeah, it's hard to get a copy of that movie at the moment. It's pretty damn good animation, great soundtrack, good sci-fi, fantasy, post-apocalypse theme, great animation. So it's an interesting one. It's quite a rare, obscure movie, but actually really good. I watched it a few times again this week. Excellent. The music is superb. So that's tomorrow, 3 p.m. Mountain Time. As Brahma said, Saturday night we do our hockey show, Bourbon and Boarding. Hockey. So lots of fun. Check that out. Also, you'll get me on comics on Monday and Thursday nights. Tuesday night, which Nick will be talking about. Toxic Tuesday we do. And there's tons of other stuff too. So
tons of fun.
Thank you, mate.
Sounds good. And Nick, Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
You going to call me Young Gun?
That's right, man. I'm going into his one virgin type for it, so I can't wait.
Ooh.
I know, Tom. I get to be hot, fresh, and ready out of the oven for you. It's going to be great. So, Toxic Tuesday, Young Guns. Of course, Friday night, Bobby's Comic Shop. It's going to be diabolically huge, both of them. So please come hang out. Of course, I'll be here Tuesday and Thursday for me, then on Comics Division's TNT. Anything else that comes up, I'll figure that out as I go along this week. But this is a fun show, and Zack Snyder movies are still awful, and I appreciate the chat for hanging out with us for their time supporting the tier list. And thanks for having me on the panel, Tom. Good to hang out with you, Mo, Brahma, 70s, and Mark. Yes.
Yes, Mark was here before, so this will send you over to Mark's show. So hang out there with him when you get over there. And Toxic Tuesday. Don't forget, we're going to be doing Young Guns. We're going to pop Nick's cherry on that one. You can't believe it, but it's never been on Toxic Tuesday before. That's right. Young Guns. It's going to get gay.
I love that movie. I love both of them.
I know, right? Of course, everybody quotes the second one. That's the sad part, but yeah. Because there's not as many quotable lines in the first one. The second one has all the quotable lines. It'll make you famous and all that stuff, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, that being said, I'll be there. I'll be on the morning show tomorrow. Mead Tuesdays. Make sure you're still subscribed. Check out these guys' channels. Say hello to the boys when I send you over there. I might even pop in if I still have the energy. Oh, I love Young Guns. Great film. Both of them. And I'm looking forward to Young Guns 3, despite myself going, how the fuck are you going to do
Old Guns?
Old Guns, yeah.
Middle-aged guns.
I think
magic knee brace guns.
Okay. I was going to save this for Tuesday, but here's my preview for what I think Young Guns 3, and this is my serious take on what I think it's going to be. It's going to be the 2 or 3 leftover dudes from the original films teaching a new younger group. And it's going to really be taking some liberties with the story. I have a feeling, and that's how they can still justify calling it Young Guns. Because I know they're calling it Young Guns 3. It's not going to be called Old Guns or anything like that, as far as I know. Unless they do turn around and just call it Old Guns, and it's just about the old guys. But as far as I know, it's just going to be, that's probably what it's going to be. That's my hunch. But we'll see. We'll see. We never know until we actually get the movie. So... But of all the ideas that Emilio Estevez came up with for sequels, that's the only one that seemed to stick. So we'll see how that turns out. And until then, take care of yourself and each other. And we'll see you next time on the Tier List.